and disable the protobot. P Twitch. Like, I don't know what's going on with it. Like, is it a setting? Is it a setting? I don't know if it is a setting or not. I don't know what's causing it. I really don't know what's causing it. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. I appreciate you guys are going to stop watching in a minute because it's frustrating. I really don't know. VPN off and streaming time setup. Yeah, there's no VPN turned on. I mean, I do have a VPN on the system, but it's not enabled right now. So I have no idea what's happening with it. It's just up and down, and I don't know why. Yeah, you shouldn't get adverts if you subscribe to the channel. Like, there's no good tools to tell me what's going on either. Even Jesus interrupts us. This nice Sunday. Would it work if I turned the VPN on? It'd probably have more issues. It's better now. Yeah, like, when did I last restart Windows? Like, just before I started the stream. Like, the PC was turned off and I turned it back on. The computer doesn't stay on when I'm not here at the workshop. You think it's a Twitch problem? It could be. The problem is there's no good tool that I have access to that I'm aware of that allows me to see what's happening on Twitch, like to see what's causing the issue. So I have no idea. I have no idea. Like the analytics that I'm getting out of Streamlabs OBS is that everything is fine. Stream quality is good, but it doesn't. There's no dropped frames. There's no issues like that. It just seems to every 10 minutes or so want to kick me off the stream. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. There's something clearly connection that's an issue. If it happens again, well maybe I'll cancel the stream for tonight, but we'll keep going through that. Yeah, look at Traceroute because I get a lot of timeouts. No, I haven't, but I don't think it's a network issue because we don't have it for anything else. I genuinely think it's either a Streamlabs issue or it's a Twitch issue. But yeah, I will see what I can do. Let me have a look at the streaming tool, see if there's anything in there. No, it doesn't look like anything. Anyway. Yeah, so the Superman movie was really good. I've seen it twice. I saw it once at the cinema, and then I saw it once at home. I think it's cheesy and fun, and it's everything a Superman movie should be without being anything it shouldn't be. I think Man of Steel a few years ago was really good, but I think this is better. This is more akin to the Christopher Reeve movies of the late 70s and 80s, and yeah, it's much more my style. Twitch notifications turned off for now. Thank you, Jelly. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. They switched positions of the drivers on your team. Yeah, I saw. I don't know why they did that other than to appease Lando. Didn't make any sense to me. Separate takeaways is interesting. Yeah, so I love Indian food and my wife doesn't really care for it too much. So sometimes we will order from different takeaways and have it delivered. It's rare we'll go and pick it up, but we will order from different takeaways and have it delivered. She really likes Thai food, and I like Thai food too, but I just wasn't in the mood for it, and she didn't fancy Indian, so we had two different takeaways. Went for some nice coffee. Is that where you got to? Yeah. So Saturday we walked around Leeds for a bit, went for some nice coffee, and I didn't spend too much money. That was a good thing. That was the good thing. Beth Jesus, bless us with a working platform. I'm not praising Bezos enough. Did it go down again? Did it go down again? No, just the 3 that we've had 5 minutes ago. Okay. I wish it was better. Hopefully it's gonna stay stable now, but we'll see. It's been fine. You're golden. Okay. It's frozen on the I have Twitch open on one side, and it's kind of frozen me on that. So I hope it's okay. Long live Starmer 3 times. Maybe that fixes it. No, thanks. I'm alright. I'd rather the stream die. Culane stirring people up in in general chat. You will get me complaints saying things like that. You will get me complaints. You think the closed captions has failed? Oh yeah, it stops listening when the stream stops. Yeah, okay, that's re-enabled. Yeah, I think when the stream stops, the closed captions turns off automatically, and then I have to manually turn it back on. So yeah. Sacrificing some Vegemite to the Twitch Marmite goods. Yeah, okay, we can do that. We can do that. Only thing worse than no internet is unreliable internet. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree. The weird thing is the internet itself is fine. Watching video, you know, and doing anything else here, being fine. I don't know what the issue is with. I'm gonna take a punt that it's a Streamlabs issue, and I'm just gonna move to OBS for next week, and we'll try that, and we'll see how that is. But to find out that it's the closed captions what's killing the stream. It shouldn't be, because the closed captions is a third-party service. So I actually use, I'll show you which one I use. I'll drop it into chat. I actually use this service for the closed captions. I know other services are available. That's the one I use. It seems quite fine, but it's just a plugin basically, and it seems to be fine. It seems to do pretty well most of the time when the stream's not down. But the stats look good. The stats look really good. It's just weird that it does it. Anyway. It is what it is. So yeah, so then today I've been doing some chores around the house, fixing up some of the things that need to be done before we have people viewing the house when it goes up for sale. I think it's going to go up for sale in about 7 to 10 days, and then the idea is that we're just going to sell it. The house we wanted to buy looks like it's fallen through. It looks like someone's already ready to move and has placed an offer that doesn't quite meet ours from what I understand, but is good enough for the owners to want to try and pass that off quickly. So it looks like we're going to go back to the drawing board on that. So we're probably going to be homeless for a little while. I don't know what we're going to do, but the plan is to just sell our house anyway, get that done, and then figure out where we're going to move to afterwards. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but yeah, we'll probably either have to rent or move in with the mother and father-in-law for a little bit, something like that. The challenge with houses that we have is that we need to have somewhere to move PT to. So the place where we're moving to, or where we want to be, is kind of like East Yorkshire. If you drew a triangle between Beverley, Whitby and York, that's kind of the area that we want to be in. And that poses the logistical challenge of that everywhere in that triangle is probably between 90 minutes and 2.5 hours away from the workshop. So the workshop is going to have to move. And the idea is that we want a property that gives my wife everything she needs in a house and gives me enough garage space and a workshop space to move the company and the car collection into. Although I think I might have to sell all of the cars based on where we are currently. So I know at least 2 are going to go up for sale very, very soon. And I think some of the others might have to be for sale soon as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, so that's kind of like the plan, and that's what we're looking for. But it has to be in the right areas, it has to be roughly the right price, and not be finished, but we can maybe be able to make it what we want to do. So yeah, I don't know. We will see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But the house we wanted was really, really nice. It was in a village, not too far away from my mother. I'm gonna sneeze. From my mother and father-in-law, and we're kind of sad that I'm really gonna sneeze. Look at bright light, Jay. That's not working. Looking at the stream lights, it's not bright enough. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. I think York itself is too expensive for us, Rue. Like, I don't have much money at all, and having no income makes it really difficult for us to get a mortgage for a decent amount. So basically, we're stuck with the small mortgage that we can get and the equity we have in our house, plus the small amount of savings we have at the moment. So that's all we have to buy the house with. Luckily, the value of our house has increased quite a lot since we bought it. So we've been there nearly 10 years and it's increased quite a lot. I'm hoping that will sell quite quickly. We can shove the money in a savings account and then we can just go out to find the first house that fits 80% of what we need and has space for us to build the other 20% and then go for that. That's kind of like the place that we want to be. Go to Coventry. You have nothing else to do but buy keyboards. Coventry isn't really where we want to be, but we do want to be rural. We both want to be out in the middle of nowhere. That's clear. Do you want to buy a house, LV? Do you want to buy a house? It's not always the prices. I mean, I see loads of properties that we'd love to buy that are, £700,000, £500,000, and we just can't do it. Like, we just can't. I'd love to be able to, but we just can't. So we're tending to be looking for smaller properties that we know we can extend over time and make what we need to be. But yeah, the house that we did see, that we put an offer in on, it's a real shame, because it was ideal. Like, it was like we could both see ourselves in that property. So it is what it is. That's part of the house buying process. I wish we were more like, in the UK it's really difficult, because I wish it was more like I wish it was more like the Australian system. So Kalain is going to be happy I mentioned this. In Australia, people tend to sell their houses and then buy another one, and they don't have what we have here, like chains, where you have to wait for one person to sell to buy yours, for you to buy another one, and at any point in that chain, one house can fall through, and it just stops everyone moving. In Australia, what happens is you either tend to sell your house and then buy another one and move house, or they have these really cool things called bridging loans, which is basically you take out a loan that pays off your current mortgage, so you own your own house outright, and then you don't pay anything back on the bridging loan until you sell your house and buy your new house. So what you can do is you can get the bridging loan, own your own house outright, so you have no mortgage left, it's paid off. That means you can then qualify for a new mortgage, because you can't have two at the same time. So you go buy your new house and you move into your new house, then you sell your old house, and then you pay the bridging loan back when you sell your old house, whatever the difference was. And the bridging loan can cover the deposit on the new house as well, so you don't end up having to do too much with that. So yeah, I think a system here in the UK has been tried. I've spoken to mortgage advisors about it. They were like, you could possibly look at that, but it would be a really bad idea here in the UK. It would shoot your credit rating down. You wouldn't be able to get the same mortgage. So yeah, it's what it is. I'm just getting a bit screwed over with how much rent is right now. Average rent here is 300 to 400 quid higher than the average mortgage. Yeah. I'm happy you're mentioning it, but I'm trying to buy in London, so full of regret. I mean, at least in London, and because you currently, I don't think you own, Mr. Klein. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. But if you're in renting and you can afford to save up a deposit, at least you're not in a chain. You can just move as soon as your house is ready, right? Anyone else have the chain system? Never heard of it until I lived in the UK. I don't think anywhere else does it the same way as we do it. I think it's really complex, and I don't fully understand it. I just know that we are in a more powerful position as house buyers if we aren't in a chain. Not that we'd be first time buyers, but that we would be buyers with equity ready to go. So that's why we want to sell and then find a house and then put an offer in. Most people will tend to, as soon as they've got an offer on their house that's for sale, they will then find another house. And we might do that, but it's more likely that we will sell and then wait for the right property to come up. My American friend who's buying with their partner is so confused by our system. It is really complex in the UK. Conveyancing is a dark art here in the UK, and I don't really know any good conveyancers. So we're kind of at the whim of the estate agents here on this one as well. It's something you do 5 times in your life maybe. So no one ever becomes an expert at it unless you are a conveyancer. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, PT news, because we've just talked about myself, right? I don't want to move to Northern Ireland, apologies Reed, but like I can't move the company there, so it's got to be here, and my wife wants to be in East Yorkshire, so that's where we're going. If anyone's interested, do you want to see where the areas we're looking at are? Let me get on Google Maps and I'll show you. Okay, so let me click on here. So this is a map of the UK, right? This is pretty much where we are right now. Well, you can't see. This is pretty much where we are right now in Leeds. We're not quite in Leeds. We're actually. Where's Bradford? Where are we? Oh yeah. So we're actually. Wait, what? Oh yeah. I'm looking at the wrong point. So I'm literally right here now. Hold on. Let me turn on satellite view. Where's satellite view gone? Get rid of you, and then get rid of you. There we go. So we are here right now. That's where we are. That's literally where I am, right there. It says we're closed, but I'm here. So we're right there, where that pin was dropped. And where we want to move to is kind of like over here. So if you drew a triangle between York, which is here, maybe as far up as Whitby, and then Beverley, but kind of like expanded it out to the coast. So it's kind of like this sort of shape that we're looking at. It's kind of like that sort of shape. Oops, didn't mean to click. So yeah, Whitby, down to York, across to Beverley, and somewhere in there. Which the good thing is that gives us a huge area. But yeah, but like from where we are now, which is over here, it's a long way. It's like depending on whereabouts we go, because there's no real main roads over here. It's all B roads and stuff. Like it's literally just farmland, as you can see. It's almost all farmland. So to get to the nearest motorway, you've generally got like an hour's worth of driving, and then you've got an hour on the motorway. We have seen a really nice house, which is up here in Humnumby. Which we are going to go see, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. Forcing American viewers to learn geography. Yeah. Why? So the reason why we want to move over this way is for two reasons. One, my wife's family are in this sort of area around here. So we want to be closer to them. And then her brother has moved up to this sort of area, so we're just up on the coast road then, instead of having to come all the way, go all the way up. We're just on the coast road away from them then. So yeah, that's why we kind of want that. So we would kind of want to be between the two ultimately. So it's somewhere in this sort of area that we want to be. So yeah, say Hunmanby 3 times really fast. Hunmanby, Hunmanby, Hunmanby. There you go. Very dog friendly for workshop doggo. Yeah, so we actually come to Freythorpe a lot when we're over here. And if you don't know Freythorpe, it's a tiniest little hamlet. It's the tiniest of tiny places. We did look at a house here, and unfortunately it was too much money in the end. But they have this cool little coffee shop. It's terrible coffee, but it's a great location. At least I think the coffee's terrible. And we kind of come here and we park on this bit here, and then we go for a walk up and down the beach, and it's just lovely. Like, is this going to show you the beach? Yeah, like it's just beautiful. So we try and get out there as much as we can. So yeah, we'll see. Boom. Okay, you guys wanted to talk about PT news first, and then you wanted to look at Geek Hack, and then we'll do keyboard stuff. Jay's PT, Jay News is PT News. I guess. So does that mean that everyone that is buying is getting something that's already been lived in or pre-owned? Do you not have as many new places popping up? So new builds are different. New builds don't tend to create a chain, because you tend to have it tends to be first-time buyers that buy new builds. Tends to be, not always. I think last time I saw a statistic on it was something 80% of new builds are first-time buyers, or people coming from rented into a home. So new builds tend to be a different type of buyer entirely. Once you are on the property ladder and then you want to sell your house and you have to buy another house, it means you have to sell your current house and buy the new house. So what you do is you agree to do both of those on the same day. But of course, then the person you're buying the house off, they have a house that they're buying, so they agree to do that on the same day. So you end up with a chain. And the person that's buying your house is selling their house, and they agree to do that on the same day. So you all move on the same day, if that makes sense. And that's the chain. But if one of those buys falls through, so if the person buying my house falls through, it means I can't buy the house I'm moving into, which means that they can't buy the house that they're moving into, which means that they can't buy the house that they're moving into until someone's not in a chain, because they're either moving into, they've already bought a new house, or it's someone who's died and it's a probate estate or something like that, or it's someone who's downsizing to live with family, or whatever it might be. So you're all moving at the same time. It's really bad. It's really bad. UK being complex is wild, so awkward for no reason. We also refuse to adopt other ways of doing things. Yeah. I love that Hamlet is a place, not a small portion of a pork product. Bless England. Hamlets are basically small villages that don't have any amenities to them, and very few houses. Comic 60, hey man, thanks for being here. Quality of new builds. So the house that we're leaving was a new build when we moved into it about 8 or 9 years ago. It's been fine for the most part. It's actually there's people say, oh, new builds are terrible quality, you should buy an old house. Old houses have problems as well. A lot of them have had retrofits for things like double glazing and central heating that can cause problems, and the old buildings, the walls are never square. The actual rendering on the inside of the walls of plaster is usually not square or straight or flat, and you usually have to redo a lot of that. In new builds, that's kind of all taken away from you. Most of it will be square, and most of the plastering will be straight and square and even, and construction is more up to modern methods. Old houses are drafty, but they're built tougher. So if you want to knock a wall down, it's harder, but at least the wall you're knocking down is solid. So there's pros and cons to both. As someone who's owned both old houses and new houses, I don't think there's a preference over either. New builds can be just as great as older houses. It just depends on what your needs are and what type of house you're looking for. If you want an old house that you want to spend years doing up, which is what we want, fantastic. But you have to be ready for it to be a lot of work. And by an old house, I mean anything built probably pre-1990. Have you shown those ultimate parts you were speaking about earlier yet? No, I can get them later on. Remind me towards the middle of the stream and I can have a look. Baron Ragnar, hello. Yeah. Jay, have you seen the new build inspection shots? Hilarious stuff. I have seen those, yeah. So there's this thing in the UK where if you buy a new build property, you can do something called a snagging list. Because the property is brand new, you can send someone in who will go around and check every single feature of the house. He'll check that the walls are straight, he'll check that the plastering's straight, he'll check that the finish is good. You know, he'll check that the plumbing works, check everything for you. It's stuff you could do yourself, but you're paying a professional to do it, to see things you might not. And for the most part, I imagine that houses, like, I know when we had ours and we paid 650 quid for the snagger to come in and check everything, he had two things. And one of them was door handles just weren't square, which is a 2-minute job that I would have fixed at some point because they were off level with the door handles. And then one was some rendering on the outside of the garage roof, which I'd already spotted and reported to them, that just needed repointing and fixing. But when you watch those shorts, I think that there's a lot of stuff on there that it probably takes a while for them to get to it, or it is just one really bad house. But I do find them absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Just bought a new build. It's actually been great. Yeah. Our snagging list ended up being the underside of one sill, wasn't filled. Yeah, so I think underneath sills not being filled is quite common. Easy thing to miss. So yeah. What happened with your neighbour's house, the one the car crashed into? You mentioned it a while ago, right? Yeah, so our neighbour's house, our house is detached. They're the next house along. They're about 20 meters away, something like 25 meters away. And their house goes onto the main road, and they have like a parking bay in front of the house. Someone reversed into the parking bay to turn around, but they reversed right through the living room wall and drove into the house. It's currently all shored up. I believe they're rebuilding it. The family that live there, the kids are all adults. I'll say they're young adults. They're all between 16 and 20, I think. But the parents are actually on an extended vacation away. They come from Africa originally. I don't know which country, which is really bad of me. I don't know them very well. They're lovely people, but I don't speak to them very often. And I know they're over there until the back end of September, I think. So whilst the insurance has been out and shored things up, they're not actually repairing it until the family's back from their trip. So we'll see. How does it work with snags? Does it get deducted from the price of the property? So snagging is only on new builds, Alvi. So if you buy a new build house, you'll pay a snagger to come out, and he will check everything, and then he'll give you a list and say, these are all the things I found that need to be dealt with your house. You'll then go and take that to the builder, and you'll say, I don't know, give me a builder's name. Persimmon Homes, for example. You go to Persimmon, and you'll say, here's a list of all the things the snagger found. Fix them. And then they'll fix them, and they'll send you proof that they've fixed each one. It's a really common occurrence. To be fair, you don't even do that. The snag will do it. The snag will go to, say, Persimmon Homes or Baron Homes or whatever the company is. They'll give the list to them and say, all of these things need fixing. And they'll go, oh yes, that's fine, we'll fix them. And they'll go out and they'll fix them all. Sometimes there'll be really serious ones where like a wall's completely out of spec or something like that, and it might mean rebuilding something. But that's very, very few and far between from what I see. So yeah. So different from a home surveyor and Rick's on older buildings. Yeah, so if you're buying an older building, you will probably pay for a survey. So we were just about to pay for a survey for the house we were looking at. I'm glad we didn't, because we wouldn't have got that money back. You pay for a survey on the house. They will do a full inspection, make sure it's not got any damp, make sure it's not rotting, make sure it doesn't need a new roof. whatever else, if they find something, so let's say, I don't know, let's say the central heating system didn't work when they tested it, they would then come back to you and say, hey, Mr. J, here is our certificate for all of the work we've carried out on the survey of the house. We've noticed that the heating system doesn't work and the roof has a leak in it that needs a patch on it. And you go, great, okay, what's the rough estimate to fix those? And they will say, oh, it's £3,000 for the heating and it's £1,000 for the roof. And you say, okay, great, that's £4,000 it's going to cost me to fix it. And then you've got a choice. Either you can accept that and just deal with it and say, okay, I think I've got a good enough deal on the house. I'm aware that those things need doing. I will do them myself. Or alternatively, you think, well, I'm already paying a lot for the house. That's a big chunk of money and I don't want to have to pay all of that myself. Maybe I'll have a chat with the people who are selling the house and say, I know I offered £400,000. We found this £4,000 worth of work. How about you have that fixed before we exchange? Or you might say, I know that these things aren't serious. They don't need doing right away. Maybe you knock £1,000 off the value of the house, and then you kind of barter it out that way based on whatever they find. They might tell you, no, your offer is your offer, and you will only accept that offer, and it's up to you then if you want to take that on with the work that's needed doing, or whether you want to walk away. And that's a risk for them as well, because you might just walk away. Alternative, they might go, yeah, we kind of knew the roof had a bit of a leak. We'll have it fixed first, or we'll give you £1,000 off, or we'll give you £5,000 off, whatever it's going to be. So it really depends. Really depends. Hi Jay, been watching your shop a long time. I wonder if the Shopify Isle of Man bug would be fixed. I've always asked my mates to buy something from a shop then have it shipped to me. Alfworks, I'm not sure what the Isle of Man bug is. We ship to the Isle of Man every week, I think. We have orders to the Isle of Man quite consistently. So I'm not sure what the issue you're experiencing is, but let me know. Let me know what issue you're experiencing. It's so much different from Italy, honestly. It's checked by the government before listing. So one of the things, so this is Jay's idea of reform in the UK, okay, for house selling. Not my ideas on reform the political party, different thing. I think here in the UK we should do two things. We should make the financials of buying a property easier. So we should allow bridging loans that allow. Telvin, thank you so much for the subscription. We should allow bridging loans which allow you to pay off your mortgage and give you the deposit for your new house, allowing you to buy the new house with the new mortgage and then sell your old house and then pay back your bridging loan. I think we should absolutely bring that back in as a standard so people can move house easier. Conveyancers will fight back against that and it probably put a lot of people out of work. But that would break chains, get rid of them to a certain extent for a lot of people. Maybe not everywhere, but for a lot of people. The second thing I think we should do is for people selling the house, the surveys should be something that the people selling the house have to provide. And you say, I'm selling my house. Here is a survey that shows everything that's wrong with my house, and that's why we've priced it at this price. Then, because the way it works right now is if I'm interested in a property, Alvi, and you were interested in the same property, I'd go and make an offer, you'd go and make an offer, one of our offers would get accepted, and then I'd pay for a survey, I'd find something on the survey that I didn't like, and I'd retract my offer. They'd ring you up and they'd go, Alvi, your offer's in, the other people have bailed on the property. And you go, great, and then you'd pay for the same survey. And if you happen to go to the same company, they'd get paid twice for the same piece of work, because they'd just cross my name out, write your name in, and send you the same bit of paper. So for that, I think that it should be on the seller to do the survey and then hand that pack to any prospective buyer and say, this is a survey of our property. It's all done for you. Use that information as you wish. If you wish to get an independent one, you can do, but here is the survey that meets all of these legislation requirements and you can take your information off that. So yeah. No, we've not got to the Sonic yet, Ruby. We'll get to the Sonic in a few minutes. Alf, if you need order support, then please please email on Discord, on social media. It's really difficult to address customer concerns because there's Data Protection Act in the UK. So I can't look at something that you send me on social media, whether that be Discord or Instagram or whatever, Facebook, and then act upon that. I can only offer like general advice because it's the Data Protection Act stops me from doing that. So if you want me to look into something specific, like an address, then I really would recommend that you email me so that I'm not breaching any data protection. That's the thing. In Scotland, the vendor that provides a survey and an agreed bid is legally binding. Yes. So yeah. The other part in the UK is that you can go to 10 different properties and say, oh, I'll make you an offer of £400,000 on that property, and I'll make you an offer of £400,000 on that property. And then when all of them look at it, 3 might accept. You go, I actually only really want that one. And you say to the other 2, oh, sorry, I've retracted my bid now. And you can walk away scot-free. That feels like a decision you shouldn't be allowed to do. Yeah, so yeah. Is GMK Noel R2 coming to prototypers? I believe so, yeah. Makes much more sense to have the seller provide the survey. I fully agree, Alvia, fully agree. Just says it can't ship is all. We ship to the Isle of Man all the time, Alf, so I really suggest you probably best off emailing me on that one. I know we have customers in the Isle of Man that we send to, so it shouldn't be an issue. And like briefly looking on the website now, if I go to our settings for shipping and delivery, general shipping zones, UK, edit zone, domestic, let me see, Isle of Man. Let me see if I can find it. It is in there and it's ticked. Let me undo that and then redo it. Maybe if I unselect it and reapply it, it'll work for you. Okay. I've unselected the Isle of Man as a shipping destination, saved it, reselected the Isle of Man as a shipping destination, saved it. If that doesn't work, it might be an issue with your particular address. If that's not on Royal Mail's databases, UPS database, DHL database, that can be the only other thing I can think of. If that's not fixed anything for you, you're gonna have to email in, I'm afraid. It's really difficult for me to kind of like source something like this live on stream when I'm trying to do other things. Okay. Right. I heard it gets delivered by motorbike at 200 miles an hour. I wish. That would be fun. Okay, so other PT news, what's happening this week? So this week, I think we've got another package coming from GMK. I'm not sure what keycap said it is, but they did say something was going to be ready to ship soon. So that could be Motif or something like that. I'm not sure. We'll find out very soon. Our next container shipment from China is due to hit the UK on the 21st, which is only 2 weeks away now. I think we'll probably get that around the 25th to or the 30th maybe, between the 25th and the 30th here at the workshop. So I'm hoping that if that arrives around the 25th, we can get everything out by the end of the month or the end of the first week in October. That's kind of where we're aiming to be. I know between the 6th of October and the 25th of October, I think it's pretty much just me here at PT. Everyone else is on vacation. My wife's away at that time as well, so I think we might be slow during that period, but we'll see how that goes. In terms of other news, GMK Midnight Rainbow Round 2, there'll be an announcement on that this week in terms of what I'm going to be doing for revised kitting and stuff like that. The form does close tomorrow, so if you've got any thoughts on that, please, sorry, on the 10th, so please do drop some thoughts on that into the Midnight Rainbow channel if you're interested in that. And then for the open day that we're doing, so if you haven't seen this, we're going to do an open day stroke mini meetup here at PTHQ. This is going to be on one of 3 dates. We don't know which one it's going to be yet. It's either going to be the 25th of October, the 1st of November, or the 8th of November. That's a Saturday. It's going to be here at the PT workshop. You're going to be able to bring your own boards, display them. You'll be able to see some products here from PT. You'll be able to buy some stuff. You'll be able to get some discounts on the day. We'll have a ton of freebies to give away. There'll be coffee that you can have. All of that kind of stuff is going to be here at the PT workshop. It's going to be a really fun day. And for SPC folks, we're arranging something afterwards as well. I think we're going to have like a little bit of a party here at the PT workshop where SPC members, that's Twitch subs, can stay. We can order some big takeaways and stuff like that, and have maybe a giant screen up and, you know, loads of comfy sofas and chairs and things, and just have a really good evening with some alcohol, I imagine, as well. So that's kind of like a couple of things that we're looking for. if you are interested in attending that, please do drop a note on the form. You can get all these through Discord. The link is down below, and yeah, you can have a look at that. But it's going to be really, really good fun to have everyone here again for an open day, because I do like it when we do those. There's no light international kits. Yeah, international kit lights are coming back this week, Mr. Reed, for GMK 2048 Dark. I'm just waiting for Oblique to send them for us. Is Motif really that far? I'm pretty sure it's not too far away, Real Quack. The key set is not too far away from being shipped now. The last I heard from GMK is that it's pretty close. Do you know who's running Midnight Rainbow in the US? Baron Ragnar, it'll just be a prototypist. I don't think there is enough demand for Midnight Rainbow R2 to have international vendors. Like, I'm not doing it for money, I'm doing it just to get the key set out there. The pricing is going to be based with not a huge uplift in price from the GMK quote that we get. I'm resubmitting that once I've changed the kitting and revised the kitting, and I've agreed an extra discount with GMK because of this. If we have international vendors, it does increase the costs because all the vendors need their own cuts. It's got to be shipped internationally, and there's a million other things. So we're just going to do it here at PT. We ship worldwide already. No US orders have yet been impacted by tariffs, so I'm not too worried on that front. And even if they are, it should only be 10%. It's not going to be massive, and we will probably be charging the tariffs up front anyway, because I think we're going to turn that on with DHL this week, where tariffs will be paid for at checkout for US customers. So yeah. So yeah, that's where we are. I will do a buy when that comes, good sir. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Oblique to send me them out. We oversold and agreed with Oblique that we would pick some up off of him, of his stock, and then he had to go on a trip to Singapore, I think, so he's only just got back, so we haven't got the sets yet, but we'll get them soon. Who do I have to smooch to get BAE in Midnight Rainbow extensions? So put it on the form, Piney, and we'll look at it. I don't think there'll be enough demand for us to add that as a key, but you would be able to use a white on black key, because the black is just CR, which is the standard GMK black. Awesome, that makes it so much easier. Yeah, like the other thing about it as well, Baron, is that I want to handle it and make sure that I get to handle every single key set. The last time when Midnight Rainbow ran, like, PT wasn't really a thing. We'd only been running a few months. We weren't really ready to do like a GMK group buy, and I think I bought 10 base kits, and some of those are for me and some of those are a few people in the UK. I this time round, I want to handle the whole thing from beginning to end and make it really swift and easy. I don't want people to have to wait for a container to ship internationally to the US to then get the set 6 weeks after we do. Like, we've already got Prussian Blue here and we're selling extras. I know Prussian Blue hasn't hit Canon keys yet, for example. So like I don't want to be in that kind of situation. So yeah. What did we oversell? It was the extended 2048 GMK Nordic UK kits. So we arranged with Oblique to buy some additional off of his stock, and we're just waiting for those to arrive, and then we can ship out some orders that needed it. So yeah, just that one kit. Any news on GMK Winner Circle? I haven't seen anything on that, no. So I don't know. Yeah. Not sure on that one. Right then, now we talked about that. Should we do the first chore, or do you want to do a Geek Hack review first? Which would you rather do? Geek Hack or first keyboard chore? Let me know. Oh, we should do the whole shill thing, shouldn't we? I'm really bad at this. I should do the whole shill thing. Right, on the website right now, live pre-orders. Oblique. Like, we built the board a couple of weeks ago. This thing is stunning. This thing is absolutely amazing. Not enough people have bought these. I've built the board on stream already, and I've shared it a second time with different keycaps on. Go do a buy, because these are absolutely stunning bits of kit, and I don't understand why they're not selling as well as they should be. I know the price is relatively high, but you get so much bang for your buck with these. These are so good. The red, like, this is probably my favorite. The red brown anodizing with the brass blue patina. Look how beautiful that is. So good, so good, so good, so good. How will you know if I'm a Twitch sub if I want to buy Midnight Rainbow? On Discord, there is a channel for Twitch subs called the SPC, and you can join that. And if you do join that channel, there is a link where you can fill out your details in the pins, and that will then link your prototypist account to your Twitch account, so that we know who our customers are who are SPC members. So there you go. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. There are a ton of different combinations here. HHKB I think there's only a few different ones in the HHKB layout, but yeah, please do take a look at these because it's a phenomenal keyboard. It's so good, and I don't know why people aren't all over this. I really don't. It's absolutely beautiful. In fact, look, let me show you the one I have here. This is one I have here. This is pink with GMK muted, and look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. It sounds good. It's fantastic. It's got this amazing burnished brass weight on the rear. It's absolutely beautiful. So go do a buy. Go do a buy on those. Okay, what else do I need to show you on the website? Live group buys. I need to take Gurikawa off there. Mutagen. If you haven't seen this, this is probably the second best GMK set of this year. This is a glow in the dark, splashed out lime green-esque high vis type set with darker green accents, white legend. This thing is absolutely beautiful. This is going to look so good on some keyboards. Like, I've got some ideas for what I'm going to do with this. But this is really cool. I have somewhere I've got a classic TKL from Novel Keys that's in this kind of like bright yellow color. I think it's going to go on that, but that's a beautiful set. And look, it glows in the dark too. It glows in the dark. What more could you want? So maybe consider picking up Mutagen. What else do we have in stock? Oh, let's just chop the whole of in stock actually. Is that everything? Yeah. So on the in-stock stuff, we put the Gateron Konsu switches in stock the other day. These haven't been particularly popular just yet, and I will have these on stream next week. We're going to build a keyboard with these because these are really, really cool. We've got the lubed and the unlubed ones. I've only played around with the unlubed ones, but the lubed ones feel fantastic. So if you want a really, really nice clacky sound profile switch, I'd recommend those. We'll have them on stock soon. GMK Prussian Blue, you're going to see this in the flesh in a minute because I'm going to put it on a keyboard. Beautiful set. One of the best blue sets that GMK's ever produced. Yeah, go and have a look at the stuff. Oh, and there is a discount at the minute as well. I don't know how many are left, but I put 100 up using the code JSDrunk, so post memes, for 10% off anything in stock yesterday, and that's still live. There was about 25 of those left when I put the stream live, so make use of those and use them. I'll tell you how many is left right now. Discounts. There's about 15 of them left, so feel free to use those and try and get rid of them. I really want the Oblique, but the layout I wanted is now out of stock. Yeah, the stock is limited because these are already produced. So the cool thing about the Oblique is the boards are already there. They literally exist right now. They'll be shipping to us in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, you just need to buy it and it'll ship. Are you getting any more Gateron lanes? Yes, we've already got some more Gateron lanes on order, so it shouldn't be too much further away. How come no pink with red patina weight? This was just a test. These two don't come together as an option. Bol was just knew that I liked these colors, so he sent them to me as my review unit. It sounds so good. The Oblique sounds phenomenal. It's one of the best sounding keyboards we've had all year. Ramuna is such a sexy board. Yeah, we will be hosting the group buy for the Ramune keyboard as well, which I'm excited for. What kind of rainbow are we talking about? God's Covenant or LGBT? We're talking about Midnight Rainbow, the key set that I designed. Yeah. Wow. Skis and X. I don't know what you're saying, Martin. How's Beachy doing? Not as well as I'd hoped. Not as well as I'd hoped. Pink Oblique with the PBS Goblin mode could be a thing. That would work so well. That would work so well. The green of the keycaps with the pink. Yeah, it would work really well. Because like you can almost see if I get the light just right on these, they will reflect the green light from that. So you'll kind of see, well, you can see kind of way up here how the pink and the green interact with each other in the light like that. Like, it's kind of nice. I ordered a pink and silver Oblique, was quite bummed there was no pink and red patina version in stock with PT. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. We literally got a set stock of them. It's not like a group buy where you can order any combination and then we'll go make it. These already exist and they're already kitted up and they're already ready to ship from the manufacturer. So we only had a limited number of units. Waiting for Type R so I can build my cloud line. Nice. Was going to ask, what is the difference between rail bottom out and standard bottom out? Could not really find anything on the YouTube videos about those switches. So rail bottom out is where the rail on the inside of a switch. I can probably show you on here. So if let me zoom this in so I can get them under the light. Okay, so this is a translucent switch when it focuses, and as I press the switch, you can see it going down on the inside. There's two parts that can bottom out first. The first is the stem, which goes into this hole. So you can see that coming down just here. Now on this switch, that doesn't hit the bottom first. What hits the bottom first is the actual side of the slider rail. So if you look through the side of the switch here, you can see the plungers moving up and down. And you can see the black bit just above the spring and the black bit just here above the edge. Those are the top and bottom out. So what happens when you press this switch down is it hits the bottom of the housing first with the side of the stem before the pole hits the bottom on the inside of the middle part of the switch, the middle pin. So if it hits this first, it's the stem that bottom out. If it hits here first, it's the rail bottom out. So these are the rails that guide the stem up and down, and that's the bottom of the switch. So yeah, that's the difference. I hope that helps. I hope that helps you visualize it at least. There we go. Did you have a meeting about the JR1 and JR3? Yes. Nothing more to share just yet. Remember something about the Night V4 stabs, something bottoming out. Do you know if that's been revised yet? I don't know yet. No, we're waiting still for our V4 stabs yet. Yeah, so the pros and cons are, it depends on what you're looking for in a switch, right? If you want the switch to be super loud and clacky, you kind of want a non-dampened switch to clack out on the rail. If you want just standard amounts of clacky, but that can lead into thocky if you've got foams, you kind of want it to bottom out on side in the pin. So yeah. Yeah. Preference. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. V4 should let the switch bottom out with first instead of the stab bottoming out first. I think so, yeah, but we don't have the V4s yet. We're waiting for them to arrive, so yeah. Cool, okay. What else do I need to show you on the website? We've got a ton of stuff in stock, and that code I gave you will work on pretty much anything. So feel free to use the codes and get the discounts. It's pinned at the moment as well, thank you, Jelly. Including the new Bulwark TKL, which sounds phenomenal. I hadn't built one of these, and the group buy took 3 years to deliver, but I did see that the Dold had posted a sound test of these boards, and it sounded really, really good. I was really surprised by how good that sounded, so yeah, maybe take a look at those if you're interested as well. Okay, and of course, if you're interested in coffee, you can pick up some coffee from Jay's Roastery. We do roast our own coffee. I have a separate company that does that. Technically, it's the same company, but it's also a separate brand, so anyway. You can pick up the coffee that I'm drinking right now, which is the Fiction Blend. We've also got Sci-Fi Classics and decaffeinated coffees too. So feel free to pick those up. And you can also watch our daily D&D style Roll for Caffeine as well. If you haven't seen this, this is where I play D&D to create a coffee each day. This is the one we created today. This is Roll for Caffeine episode 14. And as you'll see in a second, we effectively just roll dice to decide how we're going to make a coffee each day. It's really fun. We end up with some terrible coffees. We end up with some great coffees. This was a really weird one. It was a peppermint pour over with latte. Like, pour over and milk is just a bizarre combination anyway. But we do this kind of thing every day. So yeah, feel free to check that out. That's on Jay's Roastery. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, right. Before we build anything, let's take a look at what's unread on Geek Hack since our last look. There isn't much, so we'll have a look at all of the threads here, or all of the relevant threads. I'm just going to open all of these up. Okay, right. Let's take a look at these ones. So I don't think we've talked about this dimensional. It's a cool looking set. I do like all the pad printing on these. Like, you can see the pad prints on these. It's a cool looking set. I like the purple. Let's have a look at this. Oh, kit a bit better. It's got ISO support. I like the little smiley faces here. The rub out keys always good to have. Spacebar keys. What keyboard is that? I do not recognize that keyboard. Is that the seal? It is a seal. Yeah, it is a seal. Yeah, okay. I like the sides here. I know we're supposed to be looking at a key set. I do like it. Really nice set. That'll do well. Let's see what else. Splash. So MCMC, great guy. Only just posted this the other day. So this looks like GMK Hydro, but slightly revised. I know J-Chan hasn't been around for some time, so that kind of makes sense. I'd love for, like, at one point this set used to go for like 500 quid in the UK because it was so rare. I do have an original set somewhere that I don't think I've ever really used. I've already looked Bees Keys, yeah, so it's just my unread ones. Drop the link in chat and we'll look at it afterwards, so yeah. I do like Hydro. I think it's a really, really good set. I know we're already confirmed for this, so yeah. Some cool novelties. Can you guess the theme? Extension kits. I'd love to do a UK ISO kit for this. I just don't think there'll be enough interest for it, unfortunately. Thank you, Mr. Bees. I will save that. We'll get to it in a second, and we'll have a look at whatever that is on Geekhack as well in a second. Right. Okay. So yeah, GMK Hydro Ram 2 as GMK Splash. I think it's going to be a no-brainer. My nose is really itchy. Yeah. GMK Medusa. If you haven't seen this could become one of the best GMK sets of all time. It has that potential, and it might even beat out Gurakawa for me. If this is nailed as it should be, this could be really, really, really good. I think it's going to be solid no matter how it comes out, but I think it has the potential to come out incredibly well. It's just with the kind of like almost like fish scale appearance of these keycaps and the way it kind of replicates across the whole base kit. There's something to be said for teals and bright blues that, you know, just really, really work. And I absolutely adore these novelties. So one of the things I studied in college was classical civilizations. Anything to do with ancient Roman, Greek art and architecture is right up my street. I think this could be really, really good. Add-ons kit, alpha kits, Naughty UK kits, and pad printed spacebars or UV printed spacebars from GMK. Not something we get very often. I'm not a fan of this desk mat. I know some people will be. That would never be something that would grace my desk, but you know, you guys do you. I think this has the potential to be really, really cool if this effect comes out as well as it does in the renders. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm excited for it either way. I'm excited for that set either way. So yeah. What else do we need to look at? Medusa is going to be 100% Kalane purchase. Darker Terror Below. The color choice is excellent. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, Terror Below is not a bad set, and we've got it in stock right now. And I do advise everyone to pick that up. That kind of takes Terror Below and just knocks it out of the park. That's the kind of thing. Medusa mixed with Terror Below could be an interesting combo. Absolutely, yeah. The Medusa waifu deathmat. Yeah, what's the Greek word for waifu? Don't know. Don't want to know. Okay, Origami Keys Kitsune. I do know the Origami Keys guys a little bit. That's a pretty little fox, right? I do like it. Set out to embrace a seam design aesthetic, featuring visual breaks as defining part of the board's character rather than concealing them. I like it. I do like these almost like diamond-shaped facets here. Interesting choices. Oh, look, Force Break mod. Or by a standard. I like that too. Some good colorways. ISO support on hot swap and solder. First in the Origami series. Nice. I think that'll do quite well. I don't think we've looked at it before, but yeah. Go join the Discord. Let me know how it's going. DCS Superworld. Yeah. I don't think I need to talk about it. I think we've talked about this one on stream before. I don't think I have to say anything on this one. I think it's going to be really cool. What are people saying? Purple accents. Hell yes. I mean, yeah. Group buying Q1. I'll be ready for that. GMK Red Alert. Why was this on here? Do we need to go to the last page? Is the drama? Wow. I will never rerun GMK Red Alert again. Given how it's performing, I don't know if anyone will run it again. Also, I will probably never run any set again, whether RA succeeds or not. Nice. I haven't seen Break around for a while. I hope he's doing well. Let's see what this was picked up about. 21, 2021, 2021, 2021, and then all of a sudden, literally, wait, what? Oh, we're on page 2. I thought it was going to be, why are we not on page 4? Go to page 4, Jay. 2023. Oh yeah, this was about my keyboard. Yeah, okay. Once again asking about my Rama key back in 2023. And then, all of a sudden, Fox and Foundry says this needs to be brought back. It's a classic. Literally 2 years later. Interesting. Interesting. I don't think the market's there for Red Alert anymore. But we'll take a look at it anyway. So here's Beasley's latest one. I already have. Thank you very much to Moons of Empire, who's a very good friend of mine. I love him to bits. I have the GMK version of this, but now it's the CYL version. But it's now coming back in MT New, which is pretty cool. It's a nice looking set. Based, of course, on the ZX Spectrum. This is when, so one of the issues I have with Midnight Rainbow is when we're doing like the gradient sets, how you handle this kind of thing is really difficult, because here on this board you kind of almost want all of the keys to be one step over so you can have all of the gradient on one side, or you need like a dark version of these keys to go on this side. I'm interested on B's Key's thoughts on this. Because it looks great when you look at it like this, but then on an Alice, it just kind of breaks that visual acuity. But I do love the set. I think it's going to be great. I actually know, if I do buy this, I do know which board I'm going to put it on. There was a private run of a ZX Spectrum styled board about 18 months ago, which is due to ship really soon. And this will be the set for it, I think. Yeah, so Stickit's gradient is interesting on Pandora. He did it in the right way. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He did it in the way that makes the gradient easy. He really did. But he's done a really good set. This is beautiful though. Okay, and then we also got a Z Frontier list. Let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, okay. Also, just calling out how good. Wait, where's the image? How good does Fleur East, GMK Fleur East, look on this board? It looks so good with the pink. I never considered it for a pink board before, but we might have to. Oh, do we need to translate the page? Are you going to translate the page? There we go. Oh, it's from In Studio, yeah. Design proposal after Parabolica 60. Small boat drifting on the vast ocean. Oh, I do like that side profile. There's something about having a curved wedge underneath something that's really nice and square. Oh, and I like this, how the square is being cut, had the corner cut off. I do like that. I wish I bought Fleur East. Yeah. The designer is a beta. There is no number for GMK Fleur East. Was there not? I don't remember. I know we sold it. Let's have a look. Oh, let's do the group buy one, just in case it was a kit that didn't get made. Okay, so we have the base kit, yeah. Novelty kit, accent kit. Did we just not make a numpad kit for this? Okay, you've been baited there, because it is a beautiful set, and maybe I need to put it on this board, actually. Yeah, okay, so the float looks great. Oh, I do like that. That's a gorgeous view, isn't it? Look at this step design here. And then the big foot at the back, the big stainless steel foot. Okay, that's quite pretty. That's something. Yeah, okay. I'm a big fan of that. ISO, nice. Split left shift. 10 new bottom row. A wing keyless version would be great. Wing keyless version with a 10 new. Yeah, I like this. I like anything with XT columns, so this is why we're doing the JR1 FE as well. ZK is a nice set. I just can't bring myself to buy it given my childhood rivalry of Amstrad versus Spectrum. That's fair. I'm going to plug and heavily request anyone interested in MTNU ZX, please fill out the IC form. It's very, very difficult to get responses these days. Yeah, I think on Midnight Rainbow we've stalled out about 350 responses, and Yeah, like I was hoping for like 1,000 responses maybe, but yeah, 350 is where we got to. In-stock sales international soon. Nice. I'll see if we can get a few units to host here in the UK. Okay, so that's everything I think on that. I think it's time for us to actually look at some actual keyboards rather than just websites now. I bought one from China. See, I'm gonna buy. Yeah, okay, yeah. The Bigfoot isn't my thing, but the back, let's just say it looks good. Yeah, the ETAR 87. I have the ETAR next to me as a prototype. Yeah, it's beautiful. MT News ZX is sat at 22. What? Okay, guys. Right. Okay, guys. Go back to. Woodcase. The link. We'll have a look at that in a second. Go back to this one. Right. Okay. I'm going to share my browser again. So, guys, I want you to go and click this. Where's my mouse? There. Go click that button. Let me copy. Where's the link? I'm going to paste it into chat. Go fill out this. Go fill that out and give poor Beasley your thoughts. It got UK ISO in base, so go give Beasley your thoughts. I haven't filled that out, but I will do it after the stream. I'm going to open up that and I'm going to fill this out later on. Oh no, dox myself. No one knew my real name. Okay. Okay, this is the wooden keyboard kit. Ne065. This looks like that Athena keyboard that keeps doing the rounds. I like the feet. I mean, this is really similar to the boards that Break Wooden have been doing for the past 10 years, right? I kind of like these. But they're just accents, I guess. It'd be nice to have them in like other materials. I thought this was a render, but maybe that's a photograph. So that's 169. Okay. Who's making this? Oh, I like this. This is nice. Who's making this? Who are these guys? Philadelphia. Okay, not where I thought they were. Interesting. Okay, I think this is a. When did this come out? 28th of August. I kind of like the idea of the removable side accents. I think the best part about this isn't the removable side accents. It's the brass insert around the USB. That's kind of nice. I assume this just uses a standard 60% PCB, right? I mean, it's pretty. It uses scuff feet as well, which is nice. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like anything amazing, but it's a nice enough keyboard. It'd be nice if they did like a copper version for the side pieces and the feet. That'd be nice. I do like the feet. I'm a little bit disappointed there's no picture directly of the feet. Is there a picture I'm missing? Oh, there they are. Yeah, I like the feet. I assume that they're just an off-the-shelf part though that you can buy. Interesting that you've got some weights that you can drop in. It doesn't look like a bad product. I'm always a bit dubious with wooden cases though, because if you don't finish the wood right, it can stretch and warp and misshapen based on humidity in the air and stuff. So I'm always keen to see how they've done that, but it seems fine. Shame GMK Mutagen doesn't have UK ISO. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to sell enough to put UK ISO on that set. But Rob, what I will say is if we sell triple figures of any base kit in the UK, I will just add a free UK ISO kit from GMK. I'll just make that happen. So if enough people buy it, then I'll make that happen for free and you won't have to pay for it. But unfortunately, GMK's MRQs are so high for UK ISO that like it's just not worthwhile pursuing at 12 quid a set for every set. Unfortunately, we would just be bankrupt within a week if we did that. Do you maybe have some sample keycaps used on GMK Mutagen, how it looks in person? I did have, and I tried to find them the other day, but I couldn't find them. I think that when we did a last open day, the couple of samples that were out there people took, so I don't have any anymore. So yeah, I do have some samples somewhere. I have seen them. It's very close to the renders. Very close to the renders. Brass and stainless steel accents. Nice. Okay. The wood on gold is gorgeous. Yeah, it's brass, not gold. Don't buy that expecting gold. Okay, I think we've talked about everything on there. Let's turn the browser off and we can actually look at some keyboard stuff. So, do I need any of that? No. Right. Okay. So my coffee's gone cold. I've got a beard hair in my mouth. Okay. First job is actually keyboard related, is to take these keycaps off this board and put some new keycaps on. So I'm going to zoom in a touch so you can see. So we're going to remove DCS Pepperbait and then we're going to install GMK Prussian Blue. So I have that. I have, fortunately I've run out of storage tubs. The tubs behind me I have none left, so I'm going to have to buy some more. So we're just going to have to take the keycaps off and pop them quality SP bag. This isn't an SP bag, this is one of our own. When are you going to sell these pullers? So we have a lot of these pullers and they're all unique and individual. So before I can sell them on the website, I need to take photos of each and individual one. But they're not going to be cheap either because it takes Reggie, you know, a long time to make them. So they're going to be 50 quid each. That's how much they're going to be. They're not going to be cheap. They're all handmade and they're all very different. So this one's actually mine, and Mel has a very similar one that's pink and blue. So yeah. When you unplug the Cloudline, I thought you were going to configure it to ISO. We will rebuild it to ISO at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but we will do that. It's on my list of things to do. But given it's a personal project, it kind of falls by the wayside compared to all of their customer projects. Make it gacha. You get a random color and look. Unfortunately, that's difficult because people don't like the number of returns that we have when we do mystery keycap sets is unbelievable. Like I've been wanting to bring it back for a while, do mystery keycap sets again and mystery switches, but so many people just like the last time we did it, it cost us money just on returns because people, I don't like this set, I want to return it, and it's like, okay, great, but like it costs us 10% of the cost of the order to do the return and refund, plus the cost of like everything, like staff time to process it and everything. So yeah, doing stuff that is random really makes me nervous again. Yeah, and like we can technically say no, but you know, it was a random product. You bought it knowing this, it was discounted, and therefore it's fine. But yeah, so mystery keycap sets, like it was mystery, so you didn't know what you were going to get. You could just buy 3 tiers, so you could buy like a cheap tier and it'd be something like a Canon cap set or something like that, or you could buy a mid tier and it's going to be PBT fans or Key Kobo, or you could buy a higher tier which guaranteed a GMK set. And people would be like, oh yeah, you sent me a set that I already have, and it's like, well, sorry, but that's kind of how it is. I ordered a GMK set and you sent me GMK Red Alert. You should have checked my history and know that I ordered GMK Red Alert 2 years ago. And it's like, yeah, unfortunately we can't do that. I want to return it. We've had some people ask to return mystery items and they want the full value of the product when they return it, not the price they paid for it at the mystery price as well, which is interesting. Yeah, if you gamble, you get what you get. And exactly, Niku, that's exactly the point, right? You gamble and you get what you get. You get a nice surprise when you open the box. It's not like there's any bad products out there. You know, it's not like we're going to give you something that doesn't work or is partially complete or whatever. So, yeah, it makes me nervous to do things like that anymore. Yeah, I can't remember what key set it was. I'm picking on Red Alert because it's on my brain from talking about it earlier. But we have had people before, and they got like a mystery keycap set, and let's just say they got Red Alert, and they're like, oh, I want to return this. And I was like, okay, great. And I was like, okay, your mystery keycap set was, I don't know, 80 quid or whatever it was. Here's your 80 quid back. Thank you very much for sending the keycap set back. And like, oh, no. On your website, the GMK Red Alert set sold for £118. I want the £118 back. It's like, it's not what you bought, though. You bought the mystery. Yeah, like, oh, Tai, I agree. Like, if I bought something mystery and it wasn't something that I wanted, I'd just give it away to someone that I thought would like it. Like, I have so many people I know in the hobby that if I get a keycap set that either I don't like the theme of, or it's not my colorway or whatever, I'm sure I can find someone to give it to. Plus, you're losing money on the refund. We lose money on every refund, yeah. What lunatic returns a red alert? It might not have been red alert. I'm just thinking of that because the set's on my mind from looking at it a few minutes ago on Geekhack. Sometimes I wonder if Jay's too nice. My accountant tells me that all the time. He says that, you know, you are losing money and making less profit than you should be because you keep doing silly things. People bloody Lulu. I just ban their account and tell them to F off. Yeah, and then you have no customer base, and then you have people complain about you on Reddit and stuff like that. Like, we had one customer years ago who made a complaint on Reddit because they didn't like an answer to a question, and it was like, it was one of these things where maybe the customer was right, maybe I was wrong, I don't know. I can't remember the exact details, but, you know, they asked us to do something. I said no once. They came back with a response. Before I had a chance to respond again, they'd already posted on Reddit and whatever. And by the time I'd gone back and responded, and then someone sent me the Reddit link later on, I'd already given them what they wanted, but they were still unhappy with it. And it makes it difficult because then you're fighting on the back foot, and I don't like that either. Complain on Reddit, but return something in a mystery cell. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Vendoring is, yeah, we can put that in the terms and conditions, amen. But you know, people will just charge back, and you lose chargebacks anyway. So, you know, it makes it really difficult. It makes it really difficult. My favorite is where someone said that the PT warehouse didn't exist. Yeah, the reason I started doing Instagram stories was to kind of like prove that that one was spurious, and then they became this like kind of really cathartic, oh, this is what I'm doing today, or this is what I've done today kind of VOD. So yeah, I can just carried on doing them. Ordering 5 things with the intention of returning 4 of them. We do sometimes get that. Customers will order like 5 key sets, and like we can't resell a key set if it's been unsealed, for like health and safety and hygiene things and stuff like that. So we'll have someone say, oh, I bought 4 key sets, I don't want these 3, I want to send them back. And it's like, okay, sure, as long as they're still sealed, you can send them back. Oh, like, no, I've been using them for a week and I don't like them after using them for a week, I want to send it back. It's like, thanks. And then if you then they'll just do a chargeback because they expect you to say no, and it's like, come to Dubai, chargebacks are not allowed as easily. Maybe. To the point where people become incensed to learn a store doesn't accept returns and will cry on social media about it as if they're being victimized. Yeah, I've never had someone cry about that on social media, but I have had a few people say, oh, you shouldn't make me pay for my own return. You should pay for the return costs of shipping and stuff. So yeah, it's not that the consumer rights are bad per se. I don't want to like kind of like make people think that, but the consumer rights are so far in the consumer's favor that as a business you have 2 choices. You can either absorb the costs and risk going bankrupt or whatever else, or you can increase your prices exorbitantly to kind of cover the costs of all of these different things and call it cost of doing business, which is fine, but then people will just go overseas and buy it from Island KB or Novel Keys or wherever, and then you end up in a situation where you've got dead stock, and it's like, so how do you win? And the answer is basically to view the fact that you are a vendor and you are serving the hobby. You are not here to make money. You are not going to make a living. You are here to serve the hobby, and that's the only way I can get through the day sometimes, because I have to think, yeah, I'm doing the right thing for the community. I'm doing good for the hobby. It's not about what I want or what I want to deliver or anything like that. It's about making sure that the people who are living and breathing keyboards as a hobby get what they need or access to what they need. So yeah, but it's tough. Right, let's put Prussian blue on this board because it looks fantastic. I think it's going to work really, really well with the steel. I do have some spare baggies for the keycaps afterwards. Monzo started shutting people's accounts for charging back egregiously. Egregiously, I love that word. Okay, so I'm gonna put the Q with the @ symbol on here. Is that the right one? Yeah, because I really like that key. So I'm gonna put that key on, and I'm gonna put the mu key on as my tribute to kind of like Prussia for this board, because it is Prussian blue. ZXCVBNM. There we go. But then I'm going to go completely against that, and I'm going to put the UK ISO keys on here. £3. I've kept the international one with the @ symbol there, just because I like it. And you know what? I'm going to use the 4 with the $ and the euro, kind of keeping it in the euro whole space. And then finally we want Alt GR for down here. And I think that's all we need from the international key, isn't it? No, we need this key and this key and this key. I think that's it now. No, J still wrong. Oh no, because we're not actually using this as ISO layout, are we? Hold on. We're using this as kind of like a fudged version. So we actually want to move that one key over. I think, do we? Yes, that becomes there. Right, okay, so this is kind of like a fudged ANSI ISO layout that we're going for here. Right, okay, let's put the rest of these keys in a bag. So I have the file to make the ISO plate, I just haven't had a chance to cut one yet. I'd like to return this lightly used toothbrush. Yeah. I would just not allow those people to buy again from me. Again, you can be penalised for not allowing certain people to shop with you again, if it can be seen as a way that you've prejudiced against them, so it's difficult. Next time I buy a set which I already own and say I want to return this in the shine set I used before, that's happened to us a few times. We've had customers see that a set's come back into stock a couple of years later because we've either restocked it or we found some stock. They've bought the new one and then they sent back and returned the old set that's been shined up or damaged or whatever over the years. Q with @ has to go with E with euro. Sure, but I'm doing this for me, not for anything else. And it's kind of like a fudge layout until I make it ISO at some point in the really near future. You should have made the set more chaotic than Pepper Bait. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I wanted to just have some fun with this and get keycaps set on the board. This is in stock, by the way. You can pick this up. How do you not go mental vendoring? I think I'd lose the plot in a day. Dude, like, Alvi, if someone could put me out of my misery on it, So here's the thing, right? If current J could go back to the 1st of November 2019 when the company first started 6 years ago, or nearly 6 years ago, and give any piece of advice to old J, it would be don't bother doing it. I am proud of what I've done with Prototypist, but I wouldn't want to do it again. Like, I wouldn't want to go through it again. Like, I know everyone thinks that running a keyboard vendor must be great, must be fantastic. You get to play with keyboards all day. And there is an element of that that's true. In fact, there's quite a big element of that that's true. But there is so many downsides to running a business in retail that makes it difficult. You know, you've got website to run, and we don't have like a website specialist or anything because I can't afford to pay one. So it's me. I run the website. I do all the coding for it, or 99% of the coding for it and the development for it. Some other people have helped out in the past with little bits here and there. So that's all of me. And then there's kind of like all of the business side of things, like business decisions and how to do marketing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not a marketer. I'm a project manager by trade, a program manager. So I kind of had to learn all of that side of it as well, and I'm still trying to learn that, and that's not easy, and it's a hat you have to wear. And then of course you have staff, and managing staff has its own risks and rewards and challenges and opportunities, and that's a whole nother thing. And then of course you have accounting, and you have legislation that you have to abide by, so you've got to make sure that you are on the right side of the law when it comes to CE certification and proof that your goods pass all of the tests to be able to be sold in the UK, in the EU, and the US. And then you've got freight forwarding and shipping management and production management of 300 or 400 projects in flight at any given time. And then you've got a workshop to manage, and all of the things that come with physically having stuff here, like insurances and taxes and rents, and cleaning staff, and making sure that you can abide with all the safety rules, having hot water signs up, and all of this kind of stuff. And there's a million and one things to it. And then you have customer complaints and support emails and new products to decide which to run or what not to run, or who to run it with, or in which process you're going to run it with, or what profile you're going to do it in. You've got all of the decisions you need to make around how you're going to pay out designer royalties, and how you're going to calculate those, and when you're going to calculate those, and what does that look like from a payout perspective. And you've got all of the other bills to manage and to pay, and suppliers to send invoices to. You've got to worry about contracts with DHL and UPS and other courier services, and that's all little things to worry about, and then that's before you get into all of the stuff about returns and customer complaints and handling those in a nice way. You've got to link it all to your social media and your accounts in whatever it might be. And there's all of these things that are a million and one things, and it's impossible to keep on top of all of it. And at the same time, it's fun to the vast majority of it, but there's then sometimes decisions that get made, or people ask about certain things in a certain way, and it just ruins your day. Like, you just have something, and someone will say something to you like, where's this product, and it's crap that you've not shipped it yet, and it's like, well, it's still in production. And you'll just have like a really crap day from then on, because it's the first thing you've seen as soon as you've got out of bed, that someone's unhappy with something you've decided or something you're doing. Or you'll be persecuted on social media for making a decision that the reason as to why you've made that decision, and because you haven't shared that decision with absolutely everyone and told everyone how you've come to that conclusion, people will just be upset and say, oh, that's a really bad decision, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. And it's like, okay. And these are all things that happen, week in, week out, that you have to kind of manage and control and tweak and change. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. So, yeah. My sincere advice to anyone who thinks that becoming a vendor in a niche hobby like keyboards, who wants to actually give it a go, is if you've got £250,000 or dollars that you're willing to lose, go for it. But bear in mind, your patience will be tested, and you will probably get some grey hairs. I had no grey hairs in my beard when I first started prototyping. I have a lot now. So yeah, all of those things are things to consider. All right, let's catch up with chat. Every job has its dark sides. Yeah, there are people who want to ruin it for everyone else. True. The community you've made is fantastic, Jay, but I get it. The expectations people put on you are insane. Business is rough. People are dicks and charge back. Yeah. In the end, the gift is the friends we've made along the way, which will last longer than any of the shiny keycaps or boards. Absolutely. Like, I know people today, like yourself, Clay, who I hope and pray that I'm in touch with in 10 years' time. When I turn 50, I want to be sharing a beer with you, dude. Like, I really do. And I hope that's something that happens. I really do hope it's something that happens. We'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. But yeah, like, there are people who I absolutely adore, who I'm really glad that I've met in this hobby. Yeah, this is Prussian Blue, Kevin. It's in stock right now at Prototypist. Blind Disobedience. Dear Jay, what would be the best way to approach you for a product idea? Drop me an email. Say, this is my idea. This is what I'm looking for from you, Jay. What do you think? I will get back to you in a couple of days, and then we can take it from there. Email's the best way to get hold of me. Some things are handled in Discord chats, but that usually becomes when I loop the team in and we're doing different things. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Where are the rest of the keys? They must be on the next layer. Okay. Kudos for sticking with it, Jay. Thanks, I appreciate it. Apologies for being the C word, whining about something you did once. It's alright, Captain Reeve. I don't think you're one of those people that winds me up. I'd tell you if you were. I class you as a friend. Hope Mines comes too. Think I'll get rid of Fabric, so similar. Yeah. That's why I only do private group buys with trusted community members. Fair. Fair. This set is hot. This set is so good. It is so nice. It's super nice. How do you think this compares with Fabric? It's a nicer blue. I do have some keys that are the same color as Fabric. So this is LP19. So this is a new profile from GMK that hasn't really been shared on too many social medias. But this is the same color as GMK Fabric. I know the lights are weird. The room's dark. It's bright streamlights. I guarantee you this is the same color as GMK Fabric. And then there's the double shot. This is just GMK's low profile stuff. So you can see that there is absolutely a color difference between this and GMK Fabric. I think Prussian Blue is nicer, and please bear in mind that the streamlights are not capturing the color of Prussian Blue correctly. The renders are so close on this, and it looks way off on here. I know it does. I can't get the colors right, but it's nicer than Fabric's Blue, is my genuine thoughts. What's the current lead date for the open day, or is that TBA for the future? So I should be communicating that this week. The form closes on the 10th LV. I don't know if I have it here in front of me. I don't have a keyboard plugged in, so I can't search. But I will message you directly, LV, as soon as I know anyway, before I make an announcement, because I know you've got yours going on too. So yeah. No Pun makes great sense. I hope Sigiosaura happens. I've not even heard of that set, I don't think. You know what makes life better? Talking about PP. There you go. Just for you is the claim. Will you beat Mechanicon? Sadly, no. I wish I could justify it, but right now the keyboard market is not the strongest it's ever been. So I think spending money on traveling to Mechanicon would be remiss of me when I've already been to one German meetup this year. So no, I won't be going to Mechanicon, which is big sad. And I feel kind of conflicted about it, but it would not make financial sense for me to do it right now. Okay, so there we go. Oh no, that spacebar doesn't want to return. Have we got the rare case of the bent GMK spacebar here? Do I need to send out for a replacement from GMK for my own personal set here? No, that looks fine. Telvin, thank you so much for the 100 bits. So I thought that the spacebar might be off flush, but it's not. It's actually dead straight. There is no deviation from the keyboard case here. So why is that not returning correctly? Oh, maybe this was just user error. Because it's returning fine now. I think that was just user error. Right, let's get these keycaps in the bag. When do we think the meetup's going to be? It's going to either be the 25th of October, the 1st of November, or the 8th of November, depending on what you guys vote for on the open day form. So there will be the open day stroke meetup at PTHQ, and you can fill that form out now. You can find it on the Discord server. There's a specific channel all set up for it. I thought I would finally meet you some other time then. Oh, I'm sorry, Nico. I apologize. I apologize. Is there a 6U spacebar in the Prussian Blue kit? No, the 6.25 and then the split spacebars, but there's no 6U spacebar, sadly. These are the split spacebars, and then the 6.25U in the base kit, and we've got a 7U here. Pepcac, absolutely. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Oh yeah, so we're just doing a little bit of a keyboard chore here, Rorschach. So we haven't actually got onto any of the Oblique or the Ne065 stuff yet. This is just me changing keycaps on the what board is this now? It's the JJW Cloudline R2. I couldn't think of the name then. There's a 6U centered in the compatibility kit. Yeah, unfortunately we've sold out of the compatibility kit. Have you thought about offering maybe more 6U bars for DCS sets? Would be nice with more MXEC stuff coming out. I don't think anyone's really tested whether it's viable yet to put into base kits. So yeah, I think that's going to be a designer question. I do like what Sneakbox are doing, but I'm not sure if it's something we'll do. We'll see. It look great on black, so I don't have a black keyboard to hand, but it's one of those colors that works really well with anything. It would look great with black because it looked like a blue-black kind of colorway. So yeah, work nicely. Tony the Tinkerer, hey man, thanks for being here. So that's my Cloudline re-keycapped. Next up, we're going to take a look at the. Someone recently visited DCS Baja Blast. Okay, I don't think we've had a look at that. Okay, so that's Prussian Blue installed on the Cloudline V2. And I'm going to save the keycaps and get rid of that. I'm going to put the box that can go in the rubbish pile as well. There we go. Okay, so now we've done chore number 1. Listen for the bing. Oh, Baja Night. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You had me confused there, Niku, for a second. Right, okay, let's talk about the Oblique again, because we built this on stream a little while ago. And this board is now in pre-order. These have all been produced. They're set in China. They're about to ship to all of the vendors. And they're basically up for sale for pre-order right now. Do not sleep on these, because I think as soon as people start to get these in their hands, the rest of these are going to go. If you are looking for a premium 60% that's got a cool design language, I would suggest you order one sooner rather than later, because they're really cool. Vol has absolutely knocked it out of the park with these. This is the pink one. This is my personal unit with GMK muted on. It sounds heavenly. It sounds so good. I really do think people need to stop sleeping on this. I love the fact that it's got the purposeful seam, the chamfers on either side. The wedge shapes are everywhere. Like, I know I'm talking about this a lot, but I think people are going to see these and then wish they hadn't slept on them. We're playing switches. So the switches are Onyx switches, and if I remember rightly, the plate is polycarbonate. Yeah, this is a polycarbonate plate with Gateron Onyx switches. I do have, which we'll be building, if I get to stream on Thursday, I do have a carbon fiber plate, but I need to desolder this before I can build it with the carbon fiber plate. And I'm hoping to use the same switches when we rebuild it on Thursday, I think. It's going to be after Keyboards and Coffee's finished in the morning. I'll be streaming in the afternoon, and we're going to rebuild this. We're going to desolder it on stream, and we're going to put the same switches and same PCB back in it, but with a carbon fiber plate, and we're going to see how different it sounds. I think it'll be much more clacky, but it's such a beautiful sounding board. Big fan. Did we miss a sound test? We didn't build this board today. We're just talking about it because it's in pre-order right now. We're actually going to be taking the main part of the stream today is we're going to be looking at the Sonic HE from Ne0, the Ne065 Sonic HE Plus. But yeah, this is the Oblique. It's in pre-order right now at select vendors around the world, including at Prototypist. Don't sleep on it, guys. Pick these up. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Mango Cubes, for the raid as well. I've just seen that come through. I thoroughly appreciate it. Welcome to the stream, everybody. And thank you very much for watching. Nice marbling. Thank you, Tony. This is the patina on the base of the weight. So this is actually brass, and it's been patinaed to look like a reddish, copperish kind of patinaed base. It's very tasty. In bowl we trust. Absolutely. Is that GMK muted? It is GMK muted. It's GMK muted round 1 as well. It's the original run. I was going with leather, but now I can't unsee pizza. It is like leather. I'm not sure about pepperoni in real life. It's very much like leather, though. It's kind of got a texture to it, too, which is nice. It is nice to touch. So much stuff for this month. Hard to keep up. Pink is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Interested in the Ne065 HE2, though, to be honest? Yeah, we'll be having a look at that in a minute. So I wonder if they're able to refine it now. Yeah, well, we'll take a look at the board. We did have a brief look at it on stream the other day, but I haven't taken it apart. I want to put some new keycaps on it, and we'll give it a try. Jay, quick question. Only asking as you have it in front of you. Is it possible to remove the weight from the bag? And if so, how tedious is that doing? Yeah, so the weight does unscrew from inside. There's a few screws on the inside, and you can take the weight out of the bag. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. That is not too difficult to do if you wanted to. I mean, you have to do it anyway to put the daughter board in if the daughter board's not installed. So if you want to change the daughter board is connected to the weight. And I think we might have done that on stream the other day when we looked at it. I'm not sure. So yeah. Cool. Okay, great. Right, let's take a quick 2-minute break, guys, because I need a comfort break and I want to get this glass of water. And then when I come back, I'll have some Ultim knobs to show you, some PEI material knobs, rotary encoder knobs. And then we'll take a look at the Ne065 HE board, okay? So if you've got any good questions for me, now is the time to think them up. We will have a prize for the best question on stream. I still owe Blackburg a prize from a couple of weeks ago. So if you have a question for me, you can just tag me at jprototypist and ask a question, and we'll give a prize to the best question today. It might even be a cheeky key set because I have some spare ones to give away. So you've got a few minutes now whilst I pause the stream and go and take a quick comfort break, ask you questions, and we'll take a look at both products when I get back. See you soon. Okay, folks, I am back, and I have some knobs, some Ultim knobs. Does anyone think the Oblique sounds really thin and hollow? No. I think if that's how it's coming across on stream, then the microphone's picking up the sound wrong, because it does not sound like that. There's been a couple of people that have tried it here at the workshop who, well, I think both people who tried it here at the workshop ended up buying one. It doesn't sound thin and hollow at all, but bear in mind it is on the clackier side. You might prefer a more thucky sound, which might mean you did some different switches and a different plate. So yeah. Okay. If I did not already buy way too much this month. Fair. Bazooka asked a good question. Remember, guys, we're going to give a key set away for whoever asks the best question. So feel free to ask your questions away. What do you think the next big breakthrough in keyboards will be? Material switches or something completely unexpected? So I think if you're talking about keyboards in general, the last big breakthrough was the whole quick tap, fast tap, whatever, snap tap functionality that came through for HE boards and analog keyboards a couple months ago. If I had to guess on what the next big thing in keyboards would be, I think it's going to be in the switch space. I think Dynacap is probably going to make Topra really big again. I think EC as a whole is well understood now, and it's kind of been pushing into the custom market for the last 5 or 6 years. I genuinely think that the way that Dynacap is set up, that's going to be the next big thing for keyboards, and Dynacap is just going to become part of every single keyboard offered from maybe June next year to the end of the hobby, whenever that is. If you're talking about something that's not already out yet, I think new materials are going to be quite big. I know that there are certain materials that haven't been used, to my knowledge, in keyboards yet that are being tested by a couple of people. There's some really, really cool stuff happening that hasn't necessarily been made public yet, and I think that's probably going to be quite interesting. I'm not sure I can talk about it just yet, but there are some really cool materials. If you've looked at material sciences for where things like pocket knives have gone and stuff like that, you might be kind of on the right tack. So yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a place where it goes. Next big thing, RMX Blacks? Maybe. Jay, you've spoken a lot about the difficulties of vendoring. What do you do to manage your well-being? What would you recommend for others facing similar stress? Okay, so Selvin, so I think that's a really, really good question. So I'm not going to tell you what I do first. I'm going to give you the advice first, and then I'm going to be a hypocrite and tell you what I do. Okay. So I think that I've worked in some pretty senior roles, and I've had a lot of people working for me in the past. And one thing I constantly see is people struggling to manage the time in terms of personal time versus work time, and kind of having a break between the two. That tends to lead to burnout for whatever reason, or they can be managing that perfectly and still feel burnt out. I think mental health is probably the single biggest challenge that companies face to help people through today, and it's becoming more and more natural to talk about it, which is great. It's fantastic that that's happening, and I'm there for it. I'm all for it. I want people to talk about it more. I think that there's a few things that people can do. One is just stop. Take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at how your life is. Stop doing whatever you need to do. Just stop and take some time for it, and understand what you need. And that might not be something you can decide in 20 minutes or half an hour or 45 minutes or 6 weeks or 6 years. It might be something that you learn over time what you need, but you need to start to look at yourself, what you need from life and how you need it to be structured. Some people I know really well know that they can't work or thrive in certain environments, and they try and put themselves in different environments to make that worthwhile for them. So I think if you are facing stresses in your life, you need to take a real solid look at what's causing the stress, and it might be the whole of a situation. When you start to think about it, you might think my whole job is just stressful, but you kind of need to break that down into chunks and understand which aspects. It might be that you work in a job that does some sourcing and some delivery and some mentoring, and you might think, well, the mentoring stuff I actually really like. Can I lean more into that? Is that going to give me better well-being? Is that going to give me more strength, more conviction, more character, more resolve to live in the way that I want to live? And which parts are the negative parts? Is it the resourcing or the sourcing side, and it's contract negotiations and you find them really stressful? So maybe try and find a way away from those, or try and develop some tools to help you through those. Where can you take the stress away? Where can you build in positive reinforcement? It's really difficult to do, and it's really easy to tell people that this is the answer and that's how you should handle things and you should do this and that and the other, but it's not, because it's different for every single person, and no one can tell you what the right things are for your well-being. Only you can decide those. But once you know what you need for your well-being, you have a duty of care to yourself and to everyone around you that's in your life to try and pick up on that duty of care and try and manage it in the best ways you can. No one's ever going to be successful at managing their well-being 100% of the time. There's always going to be situations that stress you out. There's always going to be situations that cause you anguish or distress, and you'll never get away from that. because not everything is within your control, and I think that's the hard part to manage. But if you can learn how to challenge yourself to dissect your own problems or your own opportunities, and figure out what the good parts are and what the bad parts are, what are the bits that you can cope with and what are the bits that you really can't cope with, and you try and focus your decision making around the bits that you can focus on, that you know you have some control over and that you know are okay in your mental well-being, and you try to eliminate or reduce or give yourself the tools to handle the stuff that you can't naturally kind of overcome the challenges of. And it's not something that happens immediately, it's not something that happens overnight. And a lot of people will say, oh, I've tried everything, and basically what they've really tried is they haven't had that hard conversation with themselves about what it means or what the issue is or what the impact is. What they've done is they've tried to ignore it, or they've tried to just fix everything in their lives, and that's not how we grow as people. You need to kind of like try and focus on the little bits and figure out what you can do for yourself rather than what other people can necessarily do for you, as Voidman GR says. So I think it's a really good question, Telvin. I think the answer is it depends on you, but that's where I'd start. That's where I would start. And there are people out there who will help you go through that journey if you need them to. Insert, whatever kind of service you need there. For me personally, I have tried the negative ways of fixing things in the past. I had a pretty bad... So a few years ago, I used to have quite a senior role at Lloyds Bank. I was in charge of a lot of senior projects, and I was delivering well on them. And I had a pretty poor relationship with alcohol because I needed a way of handling it. When we've had a couple of stressful times at PT, that's kind of crept back into my life, and I've had to really kind of curb down on it and really make some hard decisions on it, because that's not a constructive way of dealing with it. I am absolutely terrible for just forging on and not taking that time that I said people should take to try and focus on the challenges that they're facing. I will just forge on and do until I haven't hit a breaking point yet. I am sure that at some point in my life I will do that and forge on until I do hit a breaking point. So I am absolutely a massive hypocrite when it comes to this, but yeah, that's all I can say. I wish I could take my own advice. Okay, JQ says, by the way, Jay, I gave that saber file a shot. Sorry I haven't done that, JQ. It is on my list of things to do. To fix the left shift. We'll be fine if I send an order over for a palm plate and you can give it a quick ones off for me. Sure, I can absolutely do that. If it's wrong, I will fix it when we get your order in. Yeah. Can't wait out to try the EC on the Blue Ridge. Yes, I'm expecting those very soon. Dynacap is what I'm most looking forward to trying. Absolutely. What would you have done if you'd never discovered the keyboard hobby? Now that you're in it, what is the best thing about keyboards, and what's the worst thing about keyboards in your opinion? Okay, what would I have done if I'd never discovered the keyboard hobby? I would still probably be working in some corporate role. I suspect that at some point very soon I'm going to have to go back to that, because I can't live without income forever. Like, I just can't. I'm getting to the point where I've lived for as long as I can without a salary. So I'm probably going to say it would be in some sort of corporate program management stroke CT style role. I suspect in 6 months time, 12 months time, you can ask me that again. I'll be able to tell you what type of role that is. Now that I'm in it, what is the best thing about keyboards? The best thing about keyboards is how creative people are. There are so many different designs that have come out, so many new desk mat designs, so many new keycap colorways, so many new switches, so many new ways to type on a keyboard. It's constantly creative and constantly iterative, and that's the best thing. What's the worst thing about keyboards? Running a business in this industry is the hardest thing I've ever done, and I think that senior level corporate roles are probably simpler and easier on your time than some of the things I have to deal with here on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, the 0.00001% of customers that make it difficult is the hardest thing in my life right now. Asbestos plates? No, it's not asbestos. CPL has been putting out hybrid ECMX boards, going to make it super accessible. Yes, we're going to use that hopefully for the JO1 and JO3. Is there anything you miss about your old workplace, or are you happy that you are not in that position anymore? So there's the big part of me that's happy I don't have to do the corporate thing at the moment. I am very, very conscious and very, very aware that I can't not do it forever, and I'm going to have to go back to a day job at some point. I think that I have lived the last 5 years underappreciating how lucky I've been to be in the position that I've been in. Do I miss anything from the workplace? I do miss having, you know, a ton of different people to go and talk to physically when you're in the office. Here at the workshop, it's usually, for the vast majority of the time I'm here at the workshop, I'm here on my own. Thursday mornings are great because that's when some people come down to keyboards and coffee, and I love doing that. Open days are the same. Although open days get really tiring as well because you're just talking to so many people. On the other days, Mel's in a few days a week, and it's always nice to have Mel around. And there are neighbours that I'm very friendly with that we know, and they often come over for coffee, or I'll go over there for a chat as well. But I do miss having 10 or 20 different people that over the course of a month I can go for a coffee with, to have a chat and understand how they're doing at work, how things are going, what other parts of the company are doing. I do miss that sometimes. Are you happy that you're not in that position anymore? Most of the time, I'd say I'm happy. I've been happier running PT than I was in my old job. I'd say most of the time. I think there's some times when stresses have been high, and I've thought it was so much easier when I just worked for a living and I did what other people needed me to do. So that's an up and down question. But I'd say for 90% of the time, I'm happier. Nico says, do you think the AE board switches have any future with Dynacap around the corner? I feel like there's no real need for them, as the whole idea was to be able to use them with an MX plate. But you need the standoffs, so the MX plate has to be planned around that. At the point, it's easier to just get another plate for them, but that kind of defeats the point of it. I think there's space for both products. I think there's absolute space for both products. I don't think one outweighs the other. Whether it means popularity is different for them, that's fine, but you have that with all switches anyway, so I think it's fine. Do you think it makes sense to design ortholinear PCBs for common keyboards, e.g. I did one for the Cycle 7? I think ortholinear is vastly underrepresented in the community. I don't think many people in keyboards, as in custom keyboards, are into ortholinear products. I think there is space for that to grow, and that will come from demand. So we need to see how the demand goes for it. Right now, I don't think there's massive demand for it. We sell far fewer ortholinear keycap sets than any other type, even when we stock them on even when you look at the ratios, it's far fewer. I think ortholinear is probably the one thing that's even less used on the types of product that we sell, apart from the split keyboards that MechBoards kind of specialize in, than you carry. So I think it's even more limited than that overall. Telvin says, thanks Jay, also a massive hypocrite. I work for a mental health organization, so it's always reassuring when other people don't have their shit together. Do you know what the secret is, Telvin? Do you know what the big secret to life is? As far as I'm concerned, the big secret to life is that everyone's making it up as they go along. No one has a playbook for this shit. No one has done it before. We're all doing it for the first time, and we're all trying our damn best. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not good enough. But we're all doing the same things. We're all just making it up as we go along. I have no script to tell you when you ask these questions. I have no notes around my screen. I used to do that sometimes before streams, but I don't do that anymore. But yeah, like, we're all just making it up as we go along. Everything we do, we're making decisions on the fly. Sure, we're planning for the future sometimes, and we're reminiscing about the past, but I would guess that 90% of everyone's decisions are made on the fly based on the information you have in front of you. So yeah. Single favorite moment in nature, place, feeling, time, vibe. Yeah, I can tell you the answer to that right away, Clay. 2.5 years ago, or just over 2 years ago, I spent one morning in June climbing a mountain in the pitch black so I could sit on top of it to watch the sunrise. And I am not a spiritual person, but that is the most spiritual I've ever felt. It was a beautiful morning. I was sat at the top of a mountain. I had some of my favorite sweets with me and a cup of coffee. And I just sat there on my own, and I just watched the sun rise up over this valley. And then there was a steam train that went past, of all things, here in the UK, and the sun kind of came up behind the clouds. It kind of lit the whole valley. There was a low-lying cloud that was beneath me that kind of drifted over from one valley into the other, and you could watch it come up and over the hill. And then I had like a nice 6 or 7 mile walk after that back to the car. It was just really beautiful. The 20 minutes that I spent sat down watching that sunrise, half an hour, whatever it was, is the closest I've come to a spiritual experience in my life. And I've been struggling to get that feeling back. Now, being the massive hypocrite that I am, I have not gone back to that spot to do that at the same time of day since. And maybe if I do that, I'll have that experience again. But it was because it was so perfect in my mind, I haven't gone back to do it again. And I really should. I really should. So yeah. ECJR3, that's the plan, yeah. Cold rack and key sets. Cold rack has never been very big for us. You say you might have to go back at some point to work a day job. What would that mean for PT and the hobbyists in the UK that depend on BT being there? Absolutely nothing. PT will continue as it is today. It won't change a thing. If I have to go back to work, this will become my side gig, and I will make all the decisions I have to make on a day-to-day basis in my spare time. That's how it will work. So yeah, it won't make any difference. PT will continue, and it will operate to the same standards as it does right now. It won't make a difference if I go back to work. People will not know unless I tell them. Simple as that. Everyone is on their own timeline, and that's fine. Absolutely, yeah. Jay, what would your ideal Moonswatch be in terms of colours, materials, features, and strap 2? Interesting. Do you know what? I think the perfect one that I have is the pink one. It's actually downstairs right now because I was wearing it and I took it off for something the other day, and then I forgot to put it back on. But I think the pink Moonswatch that they did, the bright pink one, is probably the best one. I don't think I could top that in terms of design personally. I would absolutely love to have a proper Speedmaster, one of the FOIS ones, First Amiga in Space ones. I just can't justify buying one right now. Was that with your other boyfriend, Blackbrook? No, I was on my own, Captain Reed, on that day. It was a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure it was a day in June. I did post about it on Instagram at the time. Well, like a few hours later, not like live, but I did record a couple of videos, and it was a perfect morning. Good coffee. Just perfect. Just really good. Might be hard to do the Thursday streams though. The Thursday streams aren't particularly commonplace anyway. They happen maybe 5 times a year or 6 times a year at the minute, so yeah. What's my favourite car that I own? My 240Z. Well, it's a 280Z, but it's the same as a 240Z apart from the engine size. But yeah, my Datsun S30Z car. It's bright orange. I love it. You must have gotten very lucky with your staff. When I was at Lloyd's, we had good staff, we had bad staff, we had great staff, we had challenging staff. It just depends. But in a company that big, and with the volume of people that were, whether directly or indirectly, working with me, it wasn't difficult to manage. There was a company that big has a HR function for a reason, so it handles that kind of stress. Shame about that, Jay. Yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite discontinued food item that you wish they brought back? Okay, so the one thing, I was talking about this to my wife the other day. There used to be a sweet in the UK called Tutti Fruttis, and these were made, I think, by Nestle. Let me see if I can find them. Was it Nestle? Oh, they were Roundtrees. Okay. So, this is what they were. Hold on, let me share my browser. This is what I want to come back. Roundtree's Tutti Fruttis. They were discontinued a few years ago, and I used to, when I was really young, starting out my career, I used to have a long walk to work. I used to have to walk from a place called Horsforth in Leeds, all the way from Horsforth down into Leeds City Centre, and I used to walk both ways because I could not afford the bus. This is absolutely true. For 18 months, I walked to and from work 5 miles each way, every single day. Come rain or come shine, I walked both ways. And once a week, I would treat myself. There was a little corner shop that I passed in a place called Burley, and it was called the One Stop. And I would go into the shop, and I would buy a little pack of these Tutti Fruttis, just a small pack. It was only yay big. And I would then eat them slowly on the walk into the office. And I'd not had them since back then, which would have been 2003-ish, something like that. So 20 odd years ago. So I went looking for these about 6 months ago, couldn't find them anywhere. Then Googled it and realized that they don't make anymore. They've just not been around for a long time. So if they were 2019 apparently is when they got rid of them. I'm just looking at that article now. So if I could have one thing, it would be a packet of these original Tutti Fruttis, because they were just so good. They were like hard cubes, but then they got softer and softer over time. A little bit like a Skittle. like a UK Skittle, not an American Skittle, but a UK Skittle, but not quite the same. So yeah, that's one thing that I wish we had back. Roundtree, yeah, I remember them. Little crunchy squares, yeah, Roundtrees, yeah, they were great. Didn't realize I missed them until right this minute when I saw them. Yeah, those and Jelly Tots were always on a 2-for-1 deal in my local shop. Yeah, you still get Jelly Tots, yeah. What's your ultimate Grail watch and why? Maybe a realistic one versus no holds barred, no match budget one. The realistic one, it's the Amiga Speedmaster, Albie. I want an Amiga Speedmaster, first Amiga in space, in good condition, black dial, black tachometer, brown leather strap. My eBay is full of them because I watch them. Let me see if I'm logged into eBay. Let me see if I can log in now. I'll show you. Because I watch these all the time on eBay, knowing that I can't afford them. Something like this. Oh, let's hide that and do it this way. Something like this. This is what I would like. Something very much like this. This is what I would like. It's absolutely something that should be attainable. It's 3 or 4 grand. But yeah, that's what I would like. Not one of the new ones. I want an older one that's got a bit of provenance, a bit of history, a bit of patina to it. Something very much like this. That's what I would like. It's $4,000 or 3 grand in the UK. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'd like. If money was no object, I mean, you know, a good Rolex Daytona would be amazing, but I can't afford anything like that. So yeah, something like that. Cool. Love a Tutti Frutti. Used to put about 10 in all at once and end up with a horrific Jorig. Yeah. I think Haribo makes something similar. They do make little cubes that are kind of similar, but not great. Classic Ghosted Watch. I love them. Mine is a JLC Reverso, and for the holds barred, the Vacheron Constantine. Dude, the Vacheron Constantines are just ridiculous. Like if you look those up, like they're just insanely beautiful things. Let's get a picture of them. They are just absolutely insanely beautiful things. I mean, what is not to love about something that's that beautiful? Look at that. Look at that. It is just insanely complex, insanely beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, good taste. Good taste, man. Good taste. How did B&M Fruit Blast compare? I haven't tried them, Gadget. So someone mentioned those to me the other week when I was talking to my wife about it. She found like an article and she mentioned it, I think. Yeah. What would you recommend to a watch noob willing to spend around 500 euros? Depends on what you want from a watch, BK. Depends on what you want to watch. I feel like this conversation is outside of my tax bracket. It's outside mine as well. It's absolutely outside of mine. I can't afford the Amiga, and that's not an expensive watch. I know 3 grand is a lot of money, but it's not an expensive watch, and I can't even justify that right now. Like, with my wife wanting to try buy a house and everything else, and no income, yeah. The Vacheron Constantine, I don't know what do they go for right now. Let's ask Perplexity. See what it comes up with. $63 complications, 2,877 components. Suggested market valuation is around 20 million US dollars, or around 60 million GBP. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Yeah, 20 million. It's a lot of money. I mean, that's by Perplexity. That could be absolutely wrong. But I suspect somehow it's definitely in the 7 figures. Buying that in America with the Swiss watch tax, absolutely. 20 million sounds about right. Yeah. It feels like that's kind of in the right ballpark figure. Right. Anyway, we were going to look at some Ultim stuff. So this is a bag full of knobs, because everyone loves a bag full of knobs. I have two types. I have some that are ribbed and some that are not. And we have like another bag full of them here. So Ultim is a fantastic material. I don't know why I got so many out. It's a slightly waxy feel. It's semi-translucent. Camera, please. It's semi-translucent, so you can kind of see through it, apart from where you've where it's been milled into in the middle. But you can see through it when it's thin enough. And these are sand-blasted parts. These are not polished, but it can be polished. You can see it's got like a rough sand-blasted feel to it. It's a good-looking material, but it does look like frozen Wii. Like when you look at it like this, it just looks like frozen Wii. Like it looks like a cube of frozen Wii. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, this is the ribbed version, and then there's these ones as well. How do you explain that to the police officer in those little baggies? You don't. Here's the other type. This is more of a shaped knob, because everyone loves it when it's shaped. And you see the milling machine marks on there as well. It's almost a slightly waxy feel to it. Very heat resistant frozen wheat, sure. It really does look like yellow snow. Yeah, I mean that's the only downside to it. It's not. It can be a pretty material. One thing I've not really tried is how to polish these up overly well. I would love to actually get a proper polisher to have like a good go at polishing these and see how shiny you could make them. But it's an interesting material. It does look quite interesting when you have it like next to something that's silver, for example. It's kind of nice to look at. It works well with some other colors like stainless steel, for example. It looks good on, and that kind of helps it shine a little bit more to stainless steel, like especially when you can see through it. It's an interesting material, to say the least. Dehydrated pea is not so far off. Yeah. Will it gather smudges? So it doesn't naturally take on fingerprints. Like if I rub here, you can see that it doesn't naturally take on fingerprints particularly. I think if you had a vast expanse of it, you might find that it does to some extent. Like if you had like a 6-inch square plate of it, it might do. I think it's an interesting material from its sound properties. It does sound quite good as a plate, and I think that's probably its best use case in keyboards right now. I'm aware some people are trying to do like full cases of it. And things like that. I've seen people do full cases of it before, and it's fine as a part, but it tends to be difficult to get it right. And I think it's on the polishing side, the finishing side. If someone nails the finish, it could be a really good keyboard material for a case. If no one can nail the finishing, then I think that's where it's going to struggle. But it's not unattractive. It's slightly brown, right? Would annealing not be better for shine than polishing it? Annealing, polishing, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel called out. Where's my water? Yeah. Jay's looking for someone to polish his keyboard knobs. Yeah, absolutely. Would a DA polisher you'd use for a car with some gentle compound bring them up? Maybe. I think the problem with the polishing tools that I have is they're too big, so certainly for like the knobs, you wouldn't be able to get them in. For like something flat like a keyboard case, it might work really well. I suspect those would need to be on a lathe, and you'd have to like put some, a fine polishing compound on them and do it that way. Does it dye like PC? I haven't tried dyeing it. I don't think it will take, because it's quite heat resistant, I don't think it will take a dye quite well. Has a medical equipment vibe? Yeah. Yeah, I get that. The upcoming Neo 80CU has a plate material. I might buy one to try it with. Yeah, I think as a plate material, it's fantastic. It does sound really good. I've had some, I think they were manufactured by Salvan, but it came by way of someone else to us for some keyboards in the past. It's an interesting plate material. It does sound quite different. It's more on the carbon fiber end than it is on the polycarbonate end, which is interesting. So yeah. I don't understand the hype. I think it's different. It's because it's a new material and people want to try new things, right? That's where the hype is. And speaking of new things, and speaking of hype, it's time for us to take a look at the latest offering from QK, well, Neo. So this is the Ne065 Sonic HE+. And we did take a quick look at this on stream the other day. So let's take a more nuanced look at this. First of all, it's a fully aluminium case, as you would expect. It has that lovely green color to it. It feels like, you know, any of the other Neo keyboards. It feels really nice and premium. It has that whole kind of design going on the base of it. It feels like a really solid keyboard. I'm a big fan of this. I think the case is very, very similar to ones we've had on in the past. It's a great, you know, 65% keyboard case. Okay, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. What I'm not sure about is the font on these keycaps. The keycaps themselves are kind of interesting. I get that they have to keep them cheap to be able to keep the board the price it is. And we have this for sale right now on the website. Let's have a look at it on the website because it does come in some other colors. So I think if we go down to, does it show up in the batch? Oh, I need to fix that. Live pre-orders. I will fix that. Is it in here? Or do I just need to fix that? Oh, okay. So I think it's because our QK Neo is broken over the weekend. Okay, let me see if I can find it on here. Let's see if we can get it. There it is. So, it does come in plenty of other colorways. It comes in a nice silver color. This is the green that we have. Black, like a dusky pink color, a bright blue. You can see how it's constructed. You've got your plate, you've got your Hall effect PCB, you've got your switches all clipped in nicely. Looks fantastic. Milled badges and weights. Those are the Hall effect switches that it's using. That's the standoff to keep the plate connected to the PCB. And of course it does have their software. I haven't installed this software yet, so we won't take a look at that today, but we might take a look at it at some point soon. Here you can see more details of the switches. You can see the magnets on the underside of the switches. So that's how they determine whether they're pressed or not. Foams, keyboards. It does look good in that purple. It has got a bit of a gamer aesthetic for it because that's where Hall effect has the most effect right now. But you can get this. This particular version I have is £114 including VAT. This keyboard right here, this aluminium keyboard with keycaps, with switches, is £114 plus shipping, and that's including VAT. 114 quid for a solid aluminium and brass keyboard. That is insane pricing. Less than 120 quid shipped. That is insane pricing. Now, we did look at the keycaps the other day, and I'm going to show you these again because these are translucent keycaps. You'll see the color changes my hand passes underneath. They are translucent keycaps with a greyish tint to them, and then a pad printed legend. Those legends will wear out over time, and I think this board is probably going to sound better with some nicer keycaps on it. I don't think these are bad particularly. I think they're fine for the price, and the board does sound good. Let's pause the music so you can hear it. Like this is stock. This is completely straight out of the box. Like, I don't think anyone can tell me that that sounds bad, because it doesn't. It sounds good. But I do think it might be nicer with some more premium keycaps on it. So, what my plan was to take these off and then get you guys to vote for a GM case set that we'll put on the board. Maybe something that matches with the green. And then we'll give it another try and we'll see how it goes. Now, it is fixed in terms of layout. You can only go for this one layout. But the keycaps are interesting. I think they're the worst part about it. They are cheap. And they are not great, but they don't sound bad. Is this one just an OG Ne065 case with the Hall effect PCB? Right? Yes, it's a new PCB, new plate system, the carbon fiber plate and new switches, yeah. You do like the logo on the back plate more than the normal one? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice. I hate the font. Guess they felt the need to gamer mode. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the aim here. Reminds me of the MV Expo font. I think that was a little bit more refined, is how I describe it. Aluminium case, CF plate, brass weight, and Hall effect is nuts for this price. For £114, this is probably the bargain of the century. Good value for software, doesn't so? Yeah, and we'll take a look at the software on another stream. Now, the stabilizers, the first thing you'll notice is that they are plate mount. Probably not the best choice. Oops. Medusa would look super great on this. I agree. Medusa would look good on this. Unfortunately, that has not been produced. BRG, maybe. I'll grab some keycap sets that'll work with this, and you guys can vote on them in a second. Kind of, if they didn't use G and HE. Kind of off. They didn't just use G and HE pub software, but it is what it is. Oh, Tai. I think the thing is they wanted to do their own thing. They didn't want to be bound by any other company, so that's why they did their own thing. Take the Verdant Retro box behind you and put them on chain. Yeah, the Verdant Retro box is actually just there. It's literally just, if I switch to this camera, you might even be able to see it. That is Verdant Retro, just there. That box just there. So you guys can vote on some keycap sets in a second. I'll pick some out off the shelf, and then you guys can vote. My Shinseki set is on another keyboard, so it won't be that one, I'm afraid. I think Wooting and Gion have been killing it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely have. PCB compatible with the Ne065 Core Plus? I don't know. I haven't tried it, and I wouldn't want to say it is compatible, Gadgetoid. It may be. I don't have a Core Plus to hand to show it. I don't personally own a set of Terra Below. But if anyone has ordered a set of Terra Below today in the sale kind of thing that we're doing, the discount that we've got on at the minute, and would like me to use their set, I can go get it. But then you will get the set that I've typed on. And I am not in a position where I can afford to be buying more key sets at the moment on a personal level. Jade case makes me weak. Green is my favourite colour. Well, actually, that's a lie. Pink is my favourite colour, but I do like green. I have a soft spot for green. I'll make sure Verdant Retro wins if it's in the poll. It will be in the poll. Whether it will win or not, I don't know. I think that these keycaps are probably the least aesthetic part of this build, though. So some nicer keycaps will probably be nicer on it. Stores, this is going to be spending some channel points? Maybe. Okay, let's see if we can take that off. There we go. And no wonder the spacebar sounds good. It's got foams underneath the spacebar, little silicone pads underneath the spacebar. But there you can see it is a carbon fiber plate. Those are the Hall effect switches there. And it all plugs in nicely. Now, I don't know if this comes with a tool for us to be able to remove the plate and PCB assembly or not. I suspect it does. Let's have a look. They often do come with a tool. Also comes with a cable and keycap puller and everything else you could possibly want. Go. Try not to dislodge the ribbon cable J. Okay, I'm going to leave the ribbon cable in, but you can see here that this is all standard makeup. We've got the plate. Camera, please focus. Plate here, switches are set on there. Hall effect PCB. I don't want to take the ribbon cable out. You can see all the LEDs underneath there and all the control ports. Foam's already pre-installed in the base of the case, and it just pressure fits back in using gaskets installed between the plate and the PCB to wedge everything in place. There we go. Right. No 70 support, it only supports this layout, as far as I'm aware. You want to know what switch to it? Do I have a switch for it? And I think I'm going to put it in here. Let's take a switch out, take a look at one of them. Yeah, as far as I know, the PCBs probably won't work because of that new fee, because it does use a ribbon cable rather than the magnetic connector. But here you go. You can see the base of the switch. It looks like it's about 4mm across for the base. I'm not going to take a switch apart to have a look at the specific magnet that's installed in there, but probably about 4mm based on the base of the case sizing, where you can see the circle in the middle. Yeah, interesting. Switches feel nice and smooth though, they don't feel terrible. Maybe a little bit mushy. I don't like the stabilizers because they are plate mount, not PCB mount, but that's a small point. Right, let me go grab some sets that'll work well on green. Put those ones down while I get something a bit deeper out of the shelf. Okay, so I have 4 choices. So if we have a mod in chat who wants to put up a poll, if a mod can just wave, and then I'll let you guys pick. Is there a mod available? No mods are here. Oh, Jelly Master's here. Hello, Jelly. Thank you. Okay, so first choice is GMK Hoo High. This has got some really nice bright colours. The green will work really well with it. So GMK Hoo High. That's the first option. The second option is GMK Metropolis. It's kind of an outlier. I don't think it'll really work, but I kind of picked it as a quick set as an option. The third one is GMK Royal Alpha. This is probably my favourite green set of all time. Mr. Kalane with the fun jokes. And the final option is Verdant Retro. So there we go. Tribal might work. Tribal's on another keyboard. So a lot of these key sets are on other keyboards, so that all the keys aren't in the boxes. So I have to be careful with what I select. Maybe a red would look nice as a contrast. Do you know red is one of the few colours I don't tend to have as key on keyboards or in keycap sets. I do have Hamon, but that's on another keyboard right now. But yeah, reds aren't something I tend to have a lot of. Anyway, the poll should be up now, so you should be able to have a look at what you'd like to vote for. So just go ahead and vote, and we'll see. And whilst we're doing that vote, if you guys have got any more questions of anything else that you'd like to know, let me know, because you asked some great questions earlier on. I think Telvin's is probably the best right now, but if you can top that, ask me a question, and I'll try and answer it. Pumpkin spice on that board, yeah. Camping as well, yeah, camping would work. I do own a set of camping. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere on the shelves, but there's multiple layers to them, so I wasn't going to go too deep onto it. I think we still have some pumpkin spice in stock. It's a great one. Darker Verdant on that one, please. Cool. Glad Zooted wasn't mentioned. I do own Zooted. Stop stacking Verdant Retro, whoever you are. Boo. What did you want to win, Mr. Kalane? What did you want to win? It looks like Verdant Retro is going to win. I was picking Royal Alpha because I'm a SWAT. Royal Alpha is probably my favourite green keycap set of all time. This is the original run as well. And I actually do have the rarest of rare kits, which was the white modifiers for this. I do have that. I don't know anyone else in the UK that's got it. Am I a Toy Story 1 or a Toy Story 2 kind of guy? Dude, I am old enough to have seen Toy Story 1 when it came out. So yeah, Toy Story 1. GMK Fox is beautiful on a green board for sure. Yeah, I have GMK Fox on Jane, which is in one of these drawers here, I think. He says, I'm not able to find it. So this is a TGR Jane with GMK Fox on it, and it's beautiful, and I love it to bits.
Incredible.
And we did talk about Fleuriste earlier on. I still have that as well, Fleuriste, which is a beautiful set. No numpad, as someone mentioned out. What board is this? Is this the Optica? Yeah, I have it on the Optica. Beautiful set. One of my favorites. Royal Alpha is lovely. When did that release? I want to say 2016. It was back on Mass Drop, back when it ran, I think. Yeah, GMKTA Royal Alpha key set was on Mass Drop. Yeah, only sold 53 base kits in the group buy, and Mass Drop bought the rest of it out. Or maybe that was the second round of it. Yeah, 2016 it was. 2016, late 2015, early 2016. Yeah, long time ago. Verdant Retro wins. We'll be putting Verdant Retro on it. I don't have enough points to catch up. The alphas are just gorgeous on GMK Fox. No you, but yes, I agree. Okay, let me just go put these back so I don't knock them over. I think that matches out the shells how they should be ordered. I think. Okay. Oh. I do have a question, but I'm not sure who can answer it because I'm getting really pissed about it. Worldwide, there's been an economic slowdown, and I think everyone is feeling it. But when you look at the stock market, it keeps booming. What is happening? Do you want to know the real answer to that, Amen TMT? Do you want to know what the real answer to that is? The real answer to that is the stock market is booming because of a few different things. The people who have the power to change the way the economy is are the ones that are needing the stock market to do well. And because they've got a lot of capital, what they're able to do is they're able to almost bet against themselves on how the market's going to do. So because they bet that the market's going to do well, they then force the market to do well through buying of the shares that they have suspected are going to do well, or pushing money into companies. So what you're seeing is basically rich people making themselves richer. Is it great? No. Is it something that most people can control? Sadly not. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but yeah, it is frustrating because the world is going into a recession across most countries and across most pay brackets, and it's sad because it's never a good time when that happens. You know, it causes businesses to fail, means that more people are then made redundant. It means then more people have less money to spend, which then means more people are spending less money, which means that we go further into a recession, and that's kind of really hard to dig your way out of. So hopefully things will get better. JQ puts it really well. He says high stakes gambling. Absolutely, yeah. My finger hurts and I spent a lot of proto points. Is that one of your oldest GMK sets? I mean, I have a lot of vintage GMK sets, but or would have been cherry sets, but made with the same tooling. But yeah, that and the original Triumph Adler run were the first two modern day style group buys made from GMK as full base kits, and I have both of them. You still have 100k for rigging next time. Nice. We decided that market growth equals value to society. Yep. It was a perversion of the economic theory of Keynes and Hayek, turned into one big neoliberal supremacy of the free market ideology we have today, all based on the supposition that increasing market value would magically create societal value. Yeah. So the issue is number has to go up. If number does not go up, no one makes money. Everyone wants to make money, so they make number go up. That's basically the broads of it in a nutshell. Automation, cutting costs is good for companies, but all that means people are losing jobs, getting lives ruined, so the market is, well, people are not. Yep. Bonus, they don't even use their own money for it. Nope. It's true. Wait, if we're heading into a recession, then now's the time to YOLO all the keeps. Sure. We need a GMK stock market, then sets that go up in price and sets that go lower in price. That's called the aftermarket. Look, we don't have an actual economist in chat to disagree with me, or are they too busy looking further retro? The economist is here. Shh, the economist is here. He's going to tell us what the truth is. Every company, we've made record profits. Same company, we're also laying off thousands of people. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But I'm going to be in the job market very, very soon, like imminently. So I'm hoping that the job market is doing okay when I do start looking, like tomorrow morning. Nothing to disagree with here. Source, I'm an economist. Nice. So is Rune, who's in chat. I think he's said that a few times publicly before. Okay. Whoops. So we do get the beauty of having R5 in this key set as well, which is nice. Always nice to have an R5 on board. Economist adjacent? I think that's a fair way of describing your career, Mr. Clay. Okay, I'd forgotten how much I like this set, you know. Verdant Retro is really, really good. And it's one of the few sets that sold out pretty much straight away as well when we put it in stock. Let's go for print screen, page up, page down, FN. Nice. Verdant comes with R5. It does, yeah. It's now sold out, sadly. I thought Clay on the new animal pregnancy factoids. He knows a lot of things. Instead of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen, not dark, but terrible, beautiful, and terrible as a dawn. Tempestuous as the sea. Tempestuous as the sea, I like that. And stronger than the foundations of the earth. All shall love me in despair. Clay needs to replace Rachel from accounts. Rachel Reeves? Maybe. Okay, so here is what the board looks like with some more premium keycap choices. I think that looks pretty good. R5 looks really nice on this. What do we think, guys? SPC emojis in chat if you like this. If you like green on green. Look how good R5 looks. Look how chunky this front row is. It does look really nice. Super happy. Okay, so now we've got the board like with nice keycaps on. Let's see how it sounds now. Let's pause the music. See how it sounds now. Do you know what? That actually sounds really, really good. Now it's an enthusiast board. How do you make any board enthusiast? Put beige on it. Okay, that does sound really good. More importantly, it looks 1,000 times better. It does look 1,000 times better. The keycaps are worth more than the board, which is insane. The fact that this board is 114 quid and these keycaps were 130 quid. It's insane. This is weirdly upsetting. How does that sound good? So good. The race to the bottom, guys. We are now dominated by boards that are under 150 quid. Like, you know, it's insane that we're at this kind of level in the hobby now, where you can get all of that for £114, including VAT. You can get this for £114, including VAT. This is the board we had today. This is what it looks like with the stock keycaps on it. In fact, actually, let's find some of the better pictures, because there was some there. Like, look. There you go. That's what the purple one looks like. That's the stock keycaps. You upgrade the keycaps to something a little bit more nicer, a little bit more classy. It sounds good. It looks good. It feels nice to type on as well. Apart from the stabilizers, which are like not great, it feels fantastic. It's kind of insane that that's that, and yet still no one's buying them. Like, how is this even possible? How? You get plus 10 FPS. I think you get like you get like plus 10 skill points for the Hall effect, right? That's how it works as well. How does this sound and look so good? We have MV Expo at home. Absolutely. Okay. One of the features called Rappy Snappy. Copper boards are taking all the hype, I think. Like, if you said, Jay, I want you to pick between these two products. This is the Oblique, and this is the Ne065 Sonic HE. Without me knowing anything about keyboards, like, if I knew nothing about keyboards and I had to look at them both, and I just knew the price, like, why would you pick this? Only people who are knowledgeable about keyboards and understand keyboards and want a nice premium experience for a keyboard would pick this. So that might be most of us. But when you look at the entry to the hobby now, the bar is set so high from day one, because this is the kind of entry level board. It's 115 quid. There are some membrane keyboards from Dell and companies like that that are more expensive than this. When that's 115 quid, even with crap keycaps, and this is like, you know, 320 quid with no keycaps, it's harder to justify unless you can really show people what they're missing out on. Like, you don't get me wrong, like the design, like this is simple, this is complex. The finish, this is complex and expensive, and this is simple. The weight, this is twice the weight of this, I would imagine. It's certainly heavier. Let's find out if I'm right with it being twice the weight. I think it's not far off. So let's see what the lighter board is first. So the lighter board weighs, let's get this into grams, 1.5 kg, just under 1.4 kg. Okay, and the heavier board weighs 2 kg, so it's not even that much different. Like, it feels like a lot of difference. Like, it feels like that's almost twice the weight in hand. But yeah, my job is made really much harder. Like, I love this keyboard. I think it's fantastic. It has design out of the eyeballs and up the arse, whatever you want to say. Like, it has design coming out of every orifice, and it looks and feels fantastic. But how is that a quarter of the price, a third of the price? How? I don't know how they're doing it. You are all knowledgeable. You're watching me, which means you know at least something about keyboards, because people who don't know anything about keyboards wouldn't watch this stream. The value proposition is stunning. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's great to remote queue, yeah, that's how they're doing it. And margins, like if you buy this board from PT, we